Have you or a loved one been injured in an accident? Are you struggling to recover fair compensation? Look no further. At Phillips Law Firm, the experienced personal injury attorneys will fight for your rights and get you the justice and compensation you deserve. They handle a wide range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, medical malpractice, and workplace injuries. Justice is a phone call away, so don't wait. Call today for a free case review. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
It's after bedtime, the kids are asleep, and the moms are out to play.
We're Dina and Kristen, the duo behind the Instagram account Big Little Feelings. I'm Dina. I'm a child therapist and mom of two who nerds out on all things neurobiology and psychology. And Kristen is a parent coach who wrangles 3 kids on a daily basis, here to give it to us like it is.
We weren't meant to do this parenting thing alone. Consider After Bedtime your village.
Follow After Bedtime with Big Little Feelings on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from The Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 18, episode number 3964. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And 2 are the Men's Room. On tap today, it is a random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Category: sexy jobs and NFL quarterbacks. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Clack. Try good to try. All right, here we go to the friendly skies as EasyJet lives up to its name. Meanwhile, pastor tries to open a cockpit door and gets some unwanted fame. Customs official sees 16 lizards inside a woman's bra. Driving up 14,000-foot mountain? Definitely. That'll break the law. And a Florida man takes the get off my lawn thing to a whole new level. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, we have gone on at length on this show about air travel. It's always unpredictable, usually fairly awful, and sadly, a boring trip usually means it was a good trip. See, if nothing happens, we're pretty happy about that. Although most of us do agree that if we could join the Mile High Club, we most certainly would, and one couple did just that on a recent flight from the UK to Ibiza. Now, how do we know this? Well, there's a video making the rounds that captured the moment when one of the pilots opened the bathroom door to reveal a gentleman railroading some woman from behind. I mean, that's the best way to describe it, right? But far from being embarrassed, the guy smiles and closes the door, while the passengers laughed and cheered. Now, that makes for a good flight. Meanwhile, a couple in New Zealand, they're demanding a refund for their flight to Singapore from Paris. In a nutshell, after shelling out extra money for premium seats, they were next to, quote, an emotional support dog, which is not the worst thing in the world if it's actually a service animal. This was just some raggedy-ass dog that spent all 13 hours of the flight slobbering on the man's legs, snoring, whining, but more importantly, farting. In fact, the farts were so unbearable that they eventually switched seats. Now, think about that. Now, there's another dog in the news, cute little 8-week-old pit bull from California. Long story short, the puppy OD'd on fentanyl and had to get Narcan. Luckily, the dog's owner recognized the signs of a fentanyl overdose. because this was the second time that the same dog had OD'd on fentanyl. That I point out, it's 8 weeks old. Now, these are just some of the stories we've come across. Stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question, and this is how it works. You call us, we'll ask you a question at complete random. And after you share your story, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
Be part of the big show, the random question. Call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
I had a credit card from a big bank. I had really high interest rates on it and accrued a lot of debt.
That's BECU member Oliver.
I realized the personal loan was the right option for me, and BECU helped me so much.
BECU wants members to feel in control of their finances. Consolidating debt through personal loans is just one more way our credit union makes that possible. BECU, power in people. Financing is subject to BECU membership, credit approval, and other underwriting criteria. Not every applicant will qualify. Member paid for participation.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Over to us, away we go. Welcome to Season 18, Episode number 3,964. What a large and in-charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. The exciting return of your guess is as good as mine. Our categories this week, we have the sexiest jobs.
All right.
According to men and women, the jobs that make the opposite sex look sexy.
Anything where you wear scrubs.
Or the same sex looks sexy, depending on what you're into.
Sure.
Scrubs? Yeah. What do you think?
I'm saying hell yeah.
I think so. I think scrubs are amazing. Anytime I see someone in scrubs, I'm like, ooh, scrubs.
Is it because you think they're dirty and they're cool with bodily fluids, or is it just...
I don't know.
Because scrubs themselves are not, like, sexy. You know what I mean? You look at scrubs on a hanger, you're not like, hey, babe, wear that tonight.
I don't care what you do. You could be a veterinary technician. You could be a nurse's assistant. You could be a doctor. Just put the scrubs on, man. There's something about that.
You like the scrubs.
I like the scrubs.
I like the scrubs, too. There's a woman. She does not work in this building, I don't believe, but she hits a Starbucks a couple times a week. Blonde chick. I don't know what she does. I don't care. She might not even work in the medical industry. She might just put on scrubs because it makes her look good.
Well, they're also comfortable.
Damn, she looks good.
They are comfortable. I'm telling you that right now, too.
Yeah. Have you worn scrubs?
I have.
What was the situation that you were when we were playing doctors on TV or some other time?
No, to be honest with you, my ex-wife, she used to wear scrubs all the time.
I understand it.
So I said, hey, hook me up with some scrubs. Because they had
your size.
At one of the places that she worked.
Okay.
She's like, you really want a pair of scrubs? I'm like, yeah, just give me the bottoms to kick around the house.
What color did you get?
Like a light blue.
Okay, the standard.
Right. And they just have a drawstring, man. They're just like, you don't have to wear underwear. They're comfortable. They are light. I mean, they're amazing.
Why don't you wear them into work one day?
And I still have them. I will. Yeah, I'll do it. I'm pretty sure I still got them. Yeah, why not? Play one on TV.
I'm trying to think what job I find to be attractive.
Like the job or the people that work the job, based on their criteria. You know what I'm saying? Like you could say scrubs.
Women will say a man in uniform. So is it the clothing item or is it the job?
And is it UPS or is it the Marines?
People love UPS.
I think uniforms work either way.
I don't understand how UPS works.
Except for the mailman. Except for the mailman.
You don't think
so?
For
some reason, now, you can wear brown and women think you're sexy.
That's what I'm saying.
But you could be the mailman and walk in and they don't even want to talk to you.
I always get kind of fired up when I see a woman on a construction site.
I do too.
Maybe if she's just holding a sign. I'm like, ooh, she's got a hard hat on.
I like you in that vest.
Road crew, different story.
Yeah, road crew, a little bit different.
Construction site, yeah, a little bit different. That's a fact. So we have the sexiest jobs for both men and women coming up. And as we kick off the NFL season this weekend, we have the NFL's top 10 quarterbacks of all times.
Just statistically speaking and all that kind of thing.
All the things that they go into putting this together. There's obviously Super Bowl wins, yards passing in a career, all those different things that kind of pile into that. We've got some old school, old timers in here, people that we were able to see play. But, yeah, we do have for you the top 10 quarterbacks of all time as they debut tonight of Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football.
With the Jets and the Buffalo Bills. So that is coming up with your guess is as good as mine. More Men's Room every Monday through Friday. We'll see you out for the Men's Room Happy Hour exclusively on Odyssey and the Odyssey app. Props for the weekend. We had a great time in Bremerton at the 884 Pub over the weekend on Saturday. That place was insane. Just a great time. So
very, very good time, yes.
Yeah, met a lot of A lot of interesting people. A lot of people were having a real good time out there. And it was beautiful. It was like 83 degrees and stuff.
It was the perfect day, man. We really lucked out on that.
The weather was awesome.
It was awesome. And the staff there was incredible. It was just everybody who stopped by. We had so many people that we'd never met before. We had a few of our regulars stop by who've been to a few of our parties before. But it was kind of like it was a cool thing to go to Bremerton. First time our show's ever been there, and find out, hey, you got a lot of people over here that like your show and listen to it. So that was unexpected and very cool.
Very positive vibes for Bremerton. Look, when we first moved here, Bremerton did not have a good reputation, and I don't know if it does or does not now. Do not care, but I will say my experience there. I'm like, yo, you can throw number one, dude.
Yeah, Bremerton can throw down. That's what we learned from the weekend. So we got top props coming up. What else do we have for you today? Oh yeah. Live Day goes to prom night. Did you hear the big announcement? Yes.
We go to prom night.
Live Day is back, but it's going to prom night this year. That would be Friday night, November 17th at Snoqualmie Casino from 7 until 11. We're going to do Live Day, but Live Day goes to the prom night.
Which is interesting. I never went to my junior or senior prom and did not want to.
It's a little different. We're going to do live music. Everything's going to be live as usual.
And we're having adult chaperones.
We'll be there live. Live sound effects from our Foley artists, live voice actors. The commercials will be live. The Barbershop Quartet is going to join us. All kinds of special guests and everything else. But we're doing it at night this year, and I think that is an awesome idea.
I do. It's at a casino, man. Night makes sense, and casinos make sense at night. That's just my impression.
Live Day's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy Live Day a lot, but for the people who go to Live Day, that is quite the commitment. I mean,
if you go to both shows, that's a long day.
Yes, people are getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get there early for BJ and Migs, which starts at 6. They watch their full show, and then there's a few hours in between, 4 to be exact.
Right.
While they hang out and drink some more, and then by the time we get there at 2 o'clock, man, people are ripe. I mean, they are ripe from a long day. So I think the idea of both shows going back to back at night, this is the ultimate way to do it. Live Day goes to prom night this year. All the details and tickets at KISW.com. But it's going to be great. New originals are going to play. It's going to be an awesome time. But just the idea again.
Wait, are the new originals playing?
Oh yeah,
that's what I hear.
I'm just hearing this. Hey, me,
they fired the bassist. They got a new one.
Yeah, apparently. I did not know this.
Exactly.
I'm curious to see them play.
So this is going to be cool, man.
Kyle's just going to do it.
He's done it before. He's the go-to bass player. If I can't play, Kyle plays the bass. I, honest to God, did not know that we were playing that night.
As soon as I heard the announcement this morning, I'm like, "You're kidding me! We're doing it this way. This is the way to do it in my mind."
So I'm going to be in a prom band.
Now my problem is, I'm not sure what time we're going out there, but we need to be on our best behavior if we can pull that off before we go live on the air, because we're going to watch BJ and Migs do their thing. Which typically we weren't getting there until like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, no offense. I'm not getting there at 6 a.m., bro.
I mean, we were showing up at 10 or so from the hotel room. But
motel. Come on.
Motel.
You keep trying to class it up. This was not Holiday Inn.
I drove by there the other day. I was like, oh, my God.
How many people have been murdered
I'm alive.
in this building?
I'm alive.
I'm not even kidding.
I'm still alive.
If there's not blood stains on those mattresses, nobody should have blood stains on those mattresses.
Yeah, so that's very cool. All the details on Live Day goes to Prime Night at KISW.com, including your chance to buy tickets. I love the fact that it's a Friday night. You have to be 21 years of age with a valid photo ID to attend. Other than that, it's going to be spectacular. So we're looking forward to that night. And all the details at KISW.com.
Somebody here says, I'm confused about this new, they say Life Day. I'll assume you mean Live Day. Both the morning show and the afternoon show will be there, and it will be broadcast live. Yes. So as our understanding is, I think doors open at 6, but the program itself begins at 7, right? So
correct.
That will be live, and it will also be broadcast on these very airwaves from 7 to 11. Because originally, we didn't think that it was going to be. We thought we were just doing it at night as a separate thing.
Right, just be there.
So Miles and I had all these different plans, and it's going to be a little filthier. A little more.
If it's not broadcast.
Exactly. We thought it'd be more like this. And the council goes, no. He goes, scratch whatever horrible ideas you have. This is going to go live on the air.
So we're not going to strip this year.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I mean, that was the whole plan.
I bought a banana hammock and ready to go. But it's going to be prom night. I need to find something to wear. You know what? Maybe I'll get like a Christian Dior tuxedo that I had when I graduated high school. I went to the prom.
Can you just wear a suit now, or do people still rock
tails? Maybe some old school crap from back in the day.
I think prom is still.
They still have to wear
tux.
God damn it!
I think prom night is definitely black top. I mean, I did too, and I know some weddings, like people do suits, like
Sure.
suits.
Yeah.
But I'm almost positive prom is still like black tie.
You know why? Because they're trying so hard to get laid. It's the beauty of getting
Yes, you
married.
are.
You know you're going to have sex that night. You can wear beach shorts. It doesn't matter, right? It's all kind of tied together. But prom, you're fighting hard, man. So I'll rent a tux, I guess.
Well, we always dress up.
We do.
I like this idea better. So we started dressing up when we initially did this.
Correct.
So when we started Live Day, we come in suits anyway. And back then we were only doing it in the studio, and no one could really see us anyway.
But it blew everyone's mind because they didn't know that we were going to dress up. We rolled in suits, and the boss, we actually kind of ruined it for everybody because the boss is like, ooh, I like that. I said, well, if we're going to be professional, let's be professional. I'm just, 1 day a year. And after that, it's like, now you must dress. You must dress up.
Yeah, now it's like there's like themes and everything.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, hey, excuse to kind of run a tux and you don't have to, it'll be something fun as opposed to sitting through a wedding.
That's true. Yeah. So you can get the most obnoxious powder blue tux with the big fat ass cummerbund. It doesn't matter.
Now just the nervousness of asking someone to the prom. That was nerve wracking.
Yeah, I did. Did you go to your proms?
Yeah.
I didn't go to either one.
I just didn't know. People had already asked people. So I didn't know who had already been asked. I mean, it wasn't like they had a list like, by the way, they're taken.
They should almost do that, like you made the team, but Felicia is off the table.
She's off the board. It's like when you're doing your NFL draft for your fantasy team.
You need to know.
I can't take Justin Tucker as the kicker if you already have.
Right. Everybody wants the hot chick. So if you can scratch it out and say, hey man, Felicia's been taken, Sarah's been taken, Tammy's still available.
But when you're asking people's friends, hey, has anyone asked Stephanie out to the prom yet, or whoever? They're gonna, no matter what, if they have or they haven't, they're running back and telling her.
In a heartbeat, yeah.
That you acquired. Even if it wasn't for you. Oh, yeah, it's my friend Joel. He wants to know, not me. But
yeah, like my junior year, right? Like we had already, it's the end of the year. So juniors can go to the prom at DeMatha.
Yeah.
But I wasn't planning on going. But then we had the elections for student government, and one of the head priests calls me in. He goes, you going to the prom? I said, no, man. Why'd I go to the prom? And he's like, you have to give a speech there. And I was like,
really?
I do.
But you're the senior, you were the class president,
I was going to be the president the next year. But this is Monday. So he's like, you got to get a tux. You got to find a date. You got to get there.
You were trying to Kevin Costner.
Now, did you go to dinner someplace nice beforehand?
We did.
Yeah, so did I. See, that was another exciting part of prom night. Was the fact that there was one seafood restaurant. It was about 45 minutes away from where our prom was.
Yeah.
We all drove up to this place in Pennsylvania and went and got Alaskan king crab and I believe filet mignon. That was
this like all the money you had, basically?
This was $100 dinner. This was crazy. I mean, it was.
You're just like, God, I hope I can afford this.
Yeah, I mean, you really did. You had to save up the money for that. You had to save up the money for the tuxedo, all those things. My neighbor let me borrow their nice car.
What kind of car were you rocking?
It was a brand new Subaru station wagon thing, but it was brand new leather, like the LX. Whatever.
What would you have driven if you didn't have? If the neighbor had not offered that up, what would you have picked your date up in?
Yeah, that was going to be a problem. That was going to be a problem because I think my car needed a transmission at the time, and that was like $900, and my parents weren't willing to part with.
Yeah,
I mean that car was basically trash at that point.
My car died on the way to pick up the girl on my senior year.
So now what?
But there's no cell phones, right?
There's no cell phones, right? So I get to her house, the car makes it to her house, but I don't. There's smoke coming out of the engine. Like that car ain't moving, and it's certainly not going down to Northern Virginia where we like the house we're all meeting at.
Right.
So I think her mother called like another girl that she knew happened to be going to our senior prom. So that couple came over and picked us up and then kind of got us on the way.
Nice save. Nice save.
Right. It was. And I was going to say also, the year I went my junior year, the part I left out was that I had been kind of like making out with a girl from another school, but I wouldn't know if we were dating. Right. So then I find out that I've got to go to prom in 4 days' time. So I ran a tux that night, and then I just called my buddy's sister, Sarah. And I said, Sarah, you got to, like, I need a date.
This is a chick you were in love with, right?
Yeah. I was like, but Sarah, I need a date. Like, you got to come with me. She's smoke show. So she's like, yeah, of course. I'll go with you. And then you know how schools work. I get home the next day, and I get a phone call from this girl I had, like, hooked up with, like, maybe twice. And she's crying. I can't believe you're going to prom without me. And I was like, I wasn't planning on going. But like, all right, sorry.
You're breaking hearts back then in high
school. I know, right? Just how am I in trouble? How am I in trouble for this?
Yeah. And I'm a procrastinator, so it took me a little bit of time to figure out, to just get up the courage to ask someone to go to prom.
Sure.
So by the time I started, investigating, I realized, like, everyone had already bought their Christmas presents. I went to the store. They were all sold out of the things I wanted, so I had to just find anything that was left on the shelf, so to speak.
I did not go to my junior prom. I was asked by a woman who I described lovingly as the Tasmanian Devil. And I will say that because if you wonder what she looked like, picture the Tasmanian Devil. You got it. We're done. That's it. Like maybe put her in a dress shirt, whatever. But that's what she looked like. So I was very gentle with the, nah, man, I don't think I'm going to go. And then me, Leon, a couple of our buddies, we went to a golf course and got drunk. Senior year, I did not want to go, but my girlfriend at the time wanted to go. What are you going to say, right? So I'm like, of course. So I rented this freaking tux, went through the whole thing, go to pick her up at her place. And the idea was that her mother was sewing her prom dress for her, right? It's supposed to be this thing, and I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't care. It didn't matter, but she was excited about it. Well, her mom was like a turbo bitch. Something had gone down. Oh, dude, no, seriously. So when I got there, and I get there, I don't know, it's like 6 p.m., somewhere around there. Her mom had not done it yet. Now was not going to plan to do it. So my girlfriend is now in tears and all this. So the bright side of this was I didn't have to go to the prom. I didn't want. The dark side is, I had to console my girlfriend who's snotting all over my shoulder. And keep in mind, this was my thought. Like, she's crying. I'm trying to do the right thing. And when people cry, your nose turns into a waterfall. But, like, she's on my shoulder. And, Mike, the problem, see, it's not that she's snotting on me. I'm used to that. But, like, I rented this tux, man. Like, I got to pay an additional cleaning fee because basically her snot is all over my left shoulder. But Mike, it goes, remember I told you about Pour Some Sugar on Me? I don't like the song, but it led to good things. That was one of the nights where it's like, hey, fire up the Def Leppard and let me get some leg.
Ted's right about student body and government and how they played into making decisions on behalf of the students. So my buddy Joel, he was the class president. All right. So the prom had always been held at the high school. So they just dress up the gymnasium. Of course. Hang some balloons,
The gym is the junk drawer of the school.
But it's still your school. So, like, the last thing you want to do when you have fun is go back to your school. Like, school, you don't want to be there. So Joel determined that he was going to fancy it up for the first time ever in the school's history, and we were going to have a remote location. So nice. He told everybody. He's like, that was kind of part of what he ran on. Would change a lot of different things. Okay. We're going to go out and find a really nice place to have the prom. So he ends up booking us at the Ramada Inn.
Can't get fancier than that.
They had like one conference center where they could pull in partitions, you know what I mean, and make the room bigger and all these type of things. So like we walked in there, we were like, oh, Joel, you are the man. Ramada Inn, big columns out front, cheesy ass carpet everywhere. He walked into this place like, oh man, we are living large. No other class will have ever done anything this classy.
It's what it's like to be rich.
Yeah, I mean, we always had ours off-site at like a country club, but we had a lunchroom that was just the lunchroom. Unless there was an event, you went through a different door, and then it was the antler room.
Sure.
They put you through a different door.
Yeah. Come on. Random questions coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
At Casper, we want you to have it all, especially when it comes to your sleep. So we went ahead and made everything on our site up to 50% off. Yeah, for real. Even our innovative, extremely comfy mattresses, yep, they're up to 25% off. Adjustable bed frames, 50% off. Pillows, sheets, bedding bundles, and that super cute dog bed, it's on sale. It doesn't get much bigger than this. Visit Casper.com or a store near you through October 24th to save on everything. Exclusions apply. See Casper.com/promo.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Here's Random question, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Taylor. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hello.
Oh, what's happening?
Mondays, they suck, but I'm alive.
Yeah, that's fact.
Mondays, they suck.
I don't know anybody who's happy to walk in on a Monday.
Well, it depends. A lot of people are not happy to walk in on Monday, but I know a lot of people in the service industry love Mondays. Because if there's a day that they're off, this is probably the
Monday Night Football makes it a little bit better this time of the year. I will say that.
It depends on the game.
Well, it's football.
Did you not turn away from last night's game?
I turned off last night's game. Right. It's not Monday night. It was a Sunday night game.
I sat
you had a whole slate of football.
I'm with Miles. Yeah, like on this, though, right? Like, I don't feel awesome today. But it is kind of exciting to be like, all right, I'll go home and watch you have football.
No, I'm right there with you. I really am. Just saying, I hope it's not as bad as yesterday.
All right, let's go with this one.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, the reason my Monday is so great is because the Dolphins.
But you could argue the Cowboys, the Dolphins, and the 49ers, as far as 1 week pass and look at what they did. Yeah, Tyreek Hill, dude, that is the entire difference on your team. I don't know what you do to stop him that does not involve a golf club to his knees.
You just don't. Tanya hurting him, and maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, they looked real good. Yep, real good.
All right, here's your random question. Who would you say is the laziest person that you know? Who's the laziest person you know?
Easy, my wife.
Your wife? Wow. All right. I guess she does not listen to the show.
No, definitely not. It's like the little things. Like, oh, the tire light came on in my car. Can you go fill my tire up? Like, well, do you have to get gas tomorrow? Well, yeah. We'll just go fill it up. I don't know how. It's little things like that.
What else other than that? What about around the house?
Any can, like, so she likes the hard kombuchas and like seltzers and stuff. And, Friday nights, Saturday nights, we have our drinks. Next morning, she'll set them anywhere and never throw them away, or just pour them into the sink and just let them sit in the sink. It's like the garbage is 3 inches underneath the sink. Just grab and drop.
Okay. All right. Here's the one thing that I can notice about someone to know more about them than I should. If I got into a car, her car, is it somewhat clean or is it a disaster?
So her car is clean. It's my car that she'll leave canned stuff in.
Okay. All right.
Oh, that's nice of her.
Yeah. Typically, I know if someone's got to move 9 million things off the seat so I can sit down, that their home is going to reflect what the inside of their car looks like.
Especially if they knew they were picking you up. Like, wait a minute, you knew that you were coming to my place to pick me up. Imagine your Uber driver shows up and he says, hey, man, before you get in, let me get rid of the dirty laundry.
Move this old McDonald's bag.
Yeah, like, come on.
My big thing is, so she goes to the gym all the time.
All right, so she's not that lazy.
No, she is, trust me. She'll pull, like, the recycling can out or the garbage can and tie the bag and then walk right by it on her way out. Her car is up by where the garbage cans are because we live in West Seattle. So just grab it and take it out with you. But she's like, my hands are full. Like, they're
well, she's got a water bottle. She's got, her yoga mat.
She's got excuses, Miles. That's what
all right. Okay. Fair enough.
A handful of excuses. Yeah.
Reason we asked, who's the laziest person you know? Did you spend all day, they say yesterday, laying on the couch just watching football?
No, I sat on the couch.
You might be the perfect for this competition of laziness. The village of Bresna in northern Montenegro, which is in southeast Europe, holds a bizarre annual contest where competitors hope to earn the coveted title of laziest citizen. The winner gets $1,000. They've been doing it for 12 years, and it all started as a way to mock a myth that Montenegrins are lazy people. Now, this year, there are 7 remaining contestants who have been lying down on mats for more than 20 straight days and counting. They've already smashed last year's record of 117 hours.
I got to think you're already kind of lazy if you can give up 20 days to do nothing but lay under a tree.
They can play on their phones and laptops. They can eat, drink, and read. Basically, they have everything they need to, do nothing. But they're not allowed to sit or stand up. Sit or stand up.
Oh, you have to lay down the whole time.
You got to lay down the whole time. They do get a 10-minute bathroom break, but only every 8 hours. Last we heard, they made it through 23 days with no end in sight to the $1,000 grand prize with the 7 remaining contestants.
Do you get to? I'm sorry, I missed this. Can you watch TV?
No.
Yeah. Well, you have your laptop.
On your phone, sure. Right.
You have your laptop. That's a lot of laying down, but I don't know. Want to give it a run?
How bad do you think you feel at the end of the competition when you actually go to physically stand up? Like, how wiped out is your body? How sore are you, getting into an upright position?
I mean, it's got to be awkward. It's the only time you're really getting up is, to pee.
That's about it. And you get 10 minutes to do it every 8 hours. My daughter could never do that, just for the bathroom breaks alone, because if she's going to take a poop, man, she's in there 20 minutes at a time. Just saying.
You know what's going to happen then?
Hey, your toilet. Yeah, we know.
Toilet's clogged.
Hello, Susan. Welcome to the men's room. Hello, Susan. Hola.
Susan, how are you? Welcome to Random Question.
I'm good. And yourself?
We're doing great, thank you. Let's see here.
Awesome.
Okay. Susan, what would you say that an activity or something that you do that people think that you are too old to be doing?
Trying to ride a motorcycle.
Trying to ride one.
Now, all right. Can you actually ride the motorcycle, or?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so do you have a motorcycle?
Yes, I still have it. Yes.
Okay.
Well, how old are you, if you don't mind our asking?
I'm 62.
62. And I guess you've probably been riding, I'm assuming, you've been riding motorcycles your entire adult life, right?
No.
No? So you just started this?
I rode on the back.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So what kind of
I just tried to. I thought I could hop on it and ride, and ended up going through a barbed wire fence.
Oh, barbed wire.
Was this your bike or someone that you borrowed?
No, it was my bike. I went out and bought one, and
you went through a barbed wire fence. What kind of damage did that cause to you?
I broke 7 ribs and sliced my arm, and that's about it.
How old were you when you crashed?
61.
61.
So last year.
So the recovery is going to take a little bit longer when you're 61 years old.
So are people saying it's because of your age, or are they just saying maybe you're just not someone in general that should be riding motorcycles?
Kind of like the old can't teach an old dog new tricks sort of thing. I think they say age, but try to smooth it over with it. Just a little bit late in life to be.
Well, to be fair, you did go into a barbed wire fence. I mean, that's
now. Do you have anybody? Do you have anybody that you ride with, or do you ride solo?
No, I don't have any. No, I don't ride it anymore. I'm going to sell it.
All right. What kind of bike do you have?
It's a Yamaha or Virago.
Okay.
250 or something.
All right, well, that's a pretty nice bike.
It's a nice bike.
Sure.
It's not a huge bike. So even on a bike 250, right? So
I have a 125 Yamaha. So she's got twice as much bike as I do.
Right. Yeah, but hers is actually a bike. You're still a scooter.
No, mine's a trike.
Yeah, is it a trike?
Basically. I mean, it's a little kid's bike.
But still, I mean, that's going into a barbed wire fence.
You still have a scooter, right? It's not a trike.
No, yeah, it's a scooter.
A trike would have 3 wheels.
Like a tricycle, kind of like for a little kid. That's basically what I'm driving. Except for it has 2 wheels.
And so let me ask you this. After you went into the barbed wire fence and did all of that, is that when you decided, hey, maybe I should sell the bike?
No, I got back. No, I rode it again.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, anytime you get on 2 wheels, you know it's going to be a dangerous situation. Or it has the potential to be. So like anything else, you could drive a mile to the grocery store, and that ride could be just as dangerous as riding to Montana for a weekend. So
but that's accounting for traffic and road conditions, not you just driving directly into a barbed wire fence.
It's someone making a left-hand turn into you, and the next thing you know, you're eating the side of the door.
That's also, too, what makes scooters sometimes more dangerous than like a motorcycle is that, like, people can't hear you coming.
No. And you're wearing flip-flops or shorts or all the things that you shouldn't be doing instead of wearing riding gear because you're just going down to pick some up real quick from the grocery store. No jacket, summertime, T-shirt, shorts.
I feel like that's when it's most likely to happen. When you say, man, it's just going to take a second because then you don't prepare. And that's what's because if you just did flip-flops, helmet-free, and a tank top all the way to Montana, you would be so careful on that bike. Right?
Yeah.
But if you're just going down the block, baby, next thing we hear is bam, pow, crash.
I cannot remember the exact quote. I wish I could. From the guys at the 884 pub on Saturday. So Castle showed up early because he had some obligations later. I think he had to take care of his dogs and some other stuff. So he got there very early to help us set up and get everything ready to go before we got there. So he was there hours before we were, making sure that all the logistics were good and all that stuff. He took his motorcycle over the ferry.
Right.
And so at any rate, I guess he parked with a bunch of other bikes.
Yeah.
Now these guys had like bikes. Like... These guys are bikers. These are large motorcycles.
Right. Yeah. Castle owns a bike and likes to ride his motorcycle. He's not what you call a biker.
No, he owns a Harley Davidson.
No, he's got a great bike.
No, it's a beautiful bike. You look at this thing and you're like, man, that's a sharp looking bike. But according to these guys, it was like the powder puff in the parking lot. I can't remember the exact term because it was just a smaller Harley Davidson. These guys have Harley Davidsons that's as big as your car.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, right. A lot of those people we were talking to ride a lot.
Yes, and
I didn't want to tell them.
I'll put it that way.
I didn't want to tell them that I was a scooter rider. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to.
I tell them all the time.
I didn't want it to get worse.
What do they do? Just like pat you on the head, or just kind of like
they rub you and pat you on the back?
At least Miles has a 125. Mine was just a 50. So I was just going, it's all two wheels, right? Never put me in a cage. And they're like, yeah, all right, man, whatever.
Yeah, right. But see, I like it better that you have 50, right? Because you go like, okay, he's not even trying to be cool. He just has a scooter. Miles is like, no. Mm-hmm. Mine's 125. Like, okay, little guy.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right. Your buddy Ted's is open about it. What are you doing?
Right. You know me. I'm like, I'll just cut you off with the pass. Yes, this is what I used to drive.
Reason we asked, what did you think that you're maybe too old to be doing? It's never too late to try something new. And that's what Bernie Barker learned when he claimed the official title of the world's oldest male stripper. The senior worked as a nuclear engineer in the field of radiation protection. But in 2000, his career took a dramatic turn when he decided to take up stripping at the age of 60.
Get it?
Now, he was inspired to launch his new career to get in shape after recovering from prostate cancer. Turned out he was a natural at getting his kid off, claiming his performances drove women wild. Within 4 years, he'd already won 42 striptease contests. By 2005, he got a regular gig working at the Hard Rock Cafe in Las Vegas, Nevada.
You've got to be kidding me.
Now, Bernie sadly passed away at the age of 66 in 2007. But according to the Guinness World Records, no one has ever been able to take his record yet. Now, before he died, Bernie got a moment in the spotlight as he had the crowd going wild during an appearance on America's Got Talent in 2006. He recalled some of the wildest reactions he's ever had to his stripping, telling the camera crew, "Some of the craziest reactions to my act have been females passing out, the screaming, and having them cry at some of my shows.
What?
I've won more contests than anybody, and I'm still doing it." He strutted confidently on the stage, ready to quickly remove the bedazzled trousers, matching shirt, and cowboy boots he donned for his performances.
Yeah.
He was met with gasps of shock from the judges and audiences as he introduced himself, telling them, "My name is Bernie Barker, and I'm the world's oldest male stripper." Brandy Norwood, who was acting as one of the show's judges at the time, was incredulous as she asked, "Wait, stripper, as in you're going to take off your clothes?" Bernie said, "Yeah, I'm going to do it." The crowd clapped along as Bernie began dancing to Ricky Martin's She Bangs as he waved a glow stick in the air. It wasn't long before fellow judge Piers Morgan pressed his red buzzer as the parent of a young child in the crowd could be seen covering the kid's eyes. But Bernie continued his racy performance as Brandy pressed her buzzer too while spinning her chair around, so she was no longer able to look at him. The third judge, David Hasselhoff, really appeared to be enjoying the show.
That sounds about right.
And then Bernie slowly began pulling his pants down. Before it could go any further, both Piers and Brandy leapt forward, and they hit David's buzzer and pressed it, putting it into the striptease. But the legend of Bernie...
I was 62?
He was 66.
66.
At that point in time...
good-looking man.
I did see him. You're looking at a picture of him?
I am.
He kind of reminds me, who's the...
He's like a soap opera-looking guy.
Yeah, who's the guy who's always... George Hamilton? Is that his name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the super tan guy.
Yeah, he kind of... gray hair and a mustache, but he kind of has that vibe about him.
Right. When he had that look in the 70s, he was the man.
It was huge.
But he never let it go.
Yeah, if this guy Bernie was like, "Hey, you can either come watch me at the strip club or buy insurance from me," I'm doing both.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Random.
Hello, Nick. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Nick, welcome to the program. And the random question. All right, Nick, let's go with this one. How did you get someone back? Maybe they were pulling a prank on you. Maybe they did you wrong. But how did you end up getting someone back?
Oh, I usually like getting some people back, so I like to use their words against them or something like that. Let's see.
I can tell you this. I'm not proud. I did blow up a very mean neighbor's mailbox at one point in time when I was 13, 14 years old. They were just not nice to anybody. They also had a dog that was not a nice dog to walk by their yard.
Right.
So one night we decided that we were going to make his mailbox disappear. And we did do that.
Okay. One of my good buddies, he likes to joke around and give everybody as much hell as he can. So one day, this was last year, he made a flight plan and rental car for supposed to be February 22nd, but he made it for March 22nd because it fell on the exact same day. So it was only 28 days in February. So he couldn't figure out how to use the calendar. So I ran around to anywhere that I could within the local area, banks, whatever service industries, gave out calendars to put high performance equipment, stuff like that. Grabbed as many calendars as I could. Went and basically plastered his desk with as many calendars of February of 2022 that I could.
Okay. All right. That's the spirit.
Chad, my buddy Chad, he thought it was funny to have free sex items from the back of pornographic magazines delivered to each member of the apartment we lived in, depending
with
on
your name on it, right?
Depending on what category it was. Free samples, 7 DVDs or 10 free magazines.
Yeah.
Depending on the genre of stuff. Well, he actually worked at a place called Liberty Tax Service, which was a part-time temp job during the tax year.
Yeah.
So that was like a part-time job. He ended up doing that for a living, being an accountant. Either way, we did not send them to our home. We sent them to the Liberty Tax location where he was working with his name on it.
Yeah.
Now, not all of these had the black bag around them.
Right.
So a lot of them were you just got the magazine.
Playgirl.
You just got the magazine. Yeah, it was not, they didn't necessarily, might have been wrapped in clear cellophane. You could clearly see what was going on behind it.
Oh, yeah.
So that
Years ago, when I
was a good one.
Went to Louisiana to go see an LSU game, we started the day on Bourbon Street.
Okay.
So, at first, it's just me and my brother and my dad walking around, and we notice things are a little different. And, we look into a bar, and there's a dude in, it's early. It's 10 a.m. And he's just a go-go dancer, dancing with combat boots on and just a thong.
Okay.
And then we keep walking farther down. There's some famous greasy spoon we're going to get food at. And there's, rainbow balloons everywhere. Turns out we were there on Decadence Weekend, which is a big gay event.
And you had no idea?
We had no idea. But by the third bar, somebody finally just you guys aren't here for Decadence, are you? We were like, we don't know. They were like, just go farther up the street. But a few days later, when we got home, we all had emails from Decadence Festival. Because at some point, Will had snuck off and went up to one of the bars that was hosting and signed us all up for next year.
Reason we asked, how did you get someone back? A woman in the UK is going viral after she caught her boyfriend cheating and got him back by hiding smelly food in his apartment. There's a video where she opens up the curtain rods above one of his windows and stuffs a bunch of raw shrimp in there. She says his place smelled for months. He could not figure out why. Her video then inspired other people to tell their own revenge stories in the comments. Some of those, pretty solid. Here are a couple. Someone removed the back panel from their ex's television and put raw crab meat in it. A woman brushed a guy's toilet with his toothbrush, then put it back. You guys know that liquid that comes in jars of minced garlic?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Someone dumped it in a guy's shoes, every pair he had. And then someone filled a spray bottle with milk and sprayed it all over the person's carpet. So they could not figure out the source of the smell. More of the Random Question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
It's after bedtime, the kids are asleep, and the moms are out to play.
We're Dina and Kristen, the duo behind the Instagram account Big Little Feelings. I'm Dina. I'm a child therapist and mom of two who nerds out on all things neurobiology and psychology. And Kristen is a parent coach who wrangles 3 kids on a daily basis, here to give it to us like it is.
We weren't meant to do this parenting thing alone. Consider After Bedtime your village.
Follow After Bedtime with Big Little Feelings on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Want more Men's Room content? Follow the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app and check out my live stream, A Moment with Mike Hawk and Nothing in Particular with Steve the Thrill Hill. Going live Thursdays and Fridays at 1, exclusively on the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app.
9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
It is the Random Question, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Spencer. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Aloha, bichola.
Hola. Spencer, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see here. Okay. As far as growing up, what is the best or worst nickname that you've ever had to deal with?
Well, growing up, it was Cracker, White Boy, Honky, a couple other ones. I grew up in a black neighborhood.
Really? You don't say. I just saw your white friend said that. Hey, look, man, when I lived in upstate New York, I had a lot of those too. N-bomb, and then the more creative Moon Cricket, Shine. I had to look it up. Like, are you insulting? Oh, yeah, damn.
Mine was Dino's.
Yeah, Dino's, for sure. Yeah. Did you ever have a good nickname?
No.
You never got one?
No, your friends give you the nickname.
I know.
So if your friends are giving you a nickname and they're really your friends, they're not going to make it pretty.
But sometimes the nickname itself is not so bad until you have to explain it. I went by Pop Rock for years, and from the outside looking in, not the worst, but people, of course, ask, why did they call you Pop Rock? I'm like, well, they call me Pop Rock because they were sitting at the table with me when a very, very drunk, very, very ugly woman walked up to me. She didn't even flirt. She was very direct. She said, basically, I want to give you a mouth hug with Pop Rocks in my mouth. And I was just like, no. But my friends would not let it go. And I became Pop Rock in that instant, and it stayed.
Also, nothing rhymes with Spencer that's the worst. So a lot of times, like it'll be a play on words on your name or whatever the deal is. But I can't think of anything to call you if you're Spencer.
Well, they couldn't either. I called them before. My nickname in my neighborhood is Stu. My nephews didn't know my actual name was Spencer until they were like 13.
So they called you what, Stu?
Yeah, Uncle Stu. Like everyone calls me Stu, just because Spencer was too hard to say. So they're like,
where did you grow up?
South Seattle, close to Henderson.
Okay, all right.
So Cracker, White Boy, and all the rest of those derivatives were the average nickname.
Yeah, it's just that's what they called me. And I got used to it. It didn't bother me. It's just part of growing up.
Dad, you had to be White Boy a lot, I would guess.
Yeah. But sorry.
I was going to say specifically more. I didn't. You know me. I never mind going anywhere.
Right.
So there was definitely parties I would. Everybody enjoyed it. They liked me, but it was kind of funny. I would be literally like the white guy there.
Right.
So generally not from my buddies, but you heard a lot of. Yeah, I heard a lot of stuff.
Right. Yeah. I can relate. I know. But you guys talking about me? How'd you know?
Yeah, and it's not hard to figure out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad I did all that stuff, but it's like, well, it's obviously like, what do you mean they're talking about you? Like, well, I'm the only white guy here.
Like, who else are they talking about?
Like the other punk-ass white boy?
Punk-ass. That's not good in front.
Reason we asked best and worst nickname, we head to Virginia. Spotsville students who wish to go by a nickname not commonly associated with their actual name on their official record must now submit a form that is signed by a parent or guardian.
Oh, come on.
The form is to be used in accordance with a new policy adopted last month by the school board. The policy, titled Ensuring Privacy, Dignity, and Respect for All Students, is based on model policies governing the treatment of transgender students that were released in July in the Virginia Department of Education. Now, the policy requires school personnel to refer to a student only by the name appearing on the student's official record or by any nickname commonly associated with a name that appears in the student's official record. Me being James Montgomery legally, I go by my middle name, and I always have because I'm the third.
But you'd have to explain that, right?
I'd have to.
Because it's not Jimmy or any of the derivatives of James, right?
Yeah, exactly. Jim Bob, whatever. The local newspaper obtained a copy of the form, which asks for the student's preferred name and for the parent or guardian to select from a list of gender identifications and pronouns. The form is also required in order for a student to be able to use the bathroom, locker room, or other intimate space associated with the student's preferred gender identification.
All right, there's one thing with the gender ID. It's another thing when you're just talking about the nickname that people call. Like, for years, when I lived in upstate New York, for about 8 years I went to school, his name was Bill Heinrich, right? Well, William Heinrich. Everyone's like, German, huh? How did you know? Because your name's William Heinrich. But he was known to us as Buzz or Buzzy. And I don't know if Buzzy is a derivative of William/Bill or anything like that, but that's who he was. So the first day of school, every single year, it's the same conversation. Teacher does roll call. Teachers always do you prefer to be called Stephen or Steve? I'm like, I do not care what you call me. But they would get to him, and it was, Buzz. And teachers, they weren't shocked, but they're always like, Buzz. But that's how everyone knew him. The teachers called. But these days, you realize that's how we knew him. He was fine. It wasn't like an insulting nickname, so he introduced himself. But he would have to have a parentally signed form just so you can call Buzz.
I was talking about my nieces the other day to somebody. I said, oh, they're cute. What are their names? A picture on the phone for first day of school type thing. And I'm like, well, that's Peachy. And girl goes, is that her real name, Peachy? And I was like, no, her name is Natalie. Right. My sister's name. It took me a while to remember.
That's not what you call her.
I never call her Natalie. Ever. No one ever has.
Sure.
She's Peachy. That's it, period.
I mean, my uncle Phil, almost everybody still calls him Dee Dee. That's when he was the youngest out of all four of the brothers, and then one of them, I don't know, they didn't want him to be kind of like I have a nickname for Ted because my mom didn't want to be Little Eddie or Junior, so he didn't want to be Phil Jr. So I don't know how they started Dee Dee, but like there's people I know that know my family, and they would have no idea what his actual name is.
I have a cousin named Precious. I know it's not a real name. The woman's like 40 years old now, but since I have known her, and she's just been called Precious, I couldn't tell you her. If you showed me her real name and said, which family member is this? I honestly have no idea. None at all.
Random.
Hold on. Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Ahoy!
Ahoy! All right. Yeah. Justin, welcome to the program. Random question. Hopefully you can answer this one. Justin, what flooded? What has flooded in your lifetime?
A grave.
A grave?
I flooded a grave.
A grave?
Yeah, I used to run a cemetery over there in Port Orchard. And I was digging a grave, and I hit a water line. It was a 2.5-inch water line. And yeah, that grave started filling up real quick, and I had to run to the other side of the cemetery in order to shut the water off. But yeah, that made quite a mess.
How soon before the actual burial do you go out and dig the hole? Is it like the day before? Or
yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like an open hole for 3 or 4 days.
The day before.
All right.
Well, I'd throw plywood over it and whatnot. So
nobody would fall in the hole if they're messing around the cemetery.
Let me ask you this: as I have I've not dug a grave, at least not legally. How many graves do you think you dig a year? If you're running a cemetery, like how many times a year is a body going to be put in the ground?
This cemetery, we did more cremations than burials, so let's go with maybe 4 to 5 a month. And I did it for 13 years. I don't do that anymore. I moved over to Colville now. I listen to you guys on the app.
What? Just out of curiosity.
Wait.
Yeah. If I were to buy one of those plots over there, how much would that run me? How much is that worth?
I didn't get into the money aspect too much about it, but I would have to guess $3,500, $4,000. I don't know.
All right.
And I guess there's different spots, so some are more expensive.
Wait.
Or you buy the stream.
Oh, so if you're
wait a minute, wait.
The view, like the room.
View. I'm dead.
You can't see.
I'm in the ground. What would be like the prime spot in your average cemetery?
It's not the one overlooking the parking lot.
Right. What's the prime spot to be buried?
Next to a sprinkler, so your loved ones have green grass to come visit.
Okay, that makes sense. I like that. That's a nice angle. All right, and based on your 13 years of doing this, when your time is up and the reaper comes tapping on your shoulder, would you prefer burial, cremation, or other?
Other. I really want my friends to take me out crabbing, but they would probably have to, mince me up pretty good, something. But they always just complain, like, dude, we're not going to eat the crab that ate you. I'm like, you're going to catch them that day. There's no way it's going to digest that quickly. Like, you're going to get rid of the guts. Just take me crabbing one last time.
Well, is that even legal? If I say, look, man, this is this person's request.
Well, Viking funeral.
This is what they've put down. It's a legal document. They want to be used as chum.
Hey, I don't know, but you said you haven't dug any graves legally.
Legally,
so
yeah.
Who's to say they don't just grab me and take me away? Come on.
All right.
Let's go have a floating weekend at Bernie's.
Well, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that when you pass on, I don't know, the family can't legally take your body, right? I mean, unless you, even if you put it in the will, once it gets to a certain part, I feel like once it goes, point of no return, right?
Like if it goes to the morgue or the funeral home and they embalm, I don't know that you can get the body back.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so, but I just wonder, because look, you can say, well, it's in the will, but I can say, hey, my stash of cocaine hidden in the attic, you don't want to say.
What if you fill the pot up with Dungies just with his hand, though?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be down.
I have no idea. I don't know.
Can you legally be stuffed? All right. I would like to be taxidermied.
Like taxidermied?
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen photos, so I'm pretty sure it's happened before, but it's pretty rare.
I mean, I know it's rare. Most people don't make that request, but, much like, look, man, if you shot a squirrel, by the time you get a taxidermy, it's eating a nut. That is not what that squirrel looked like when you shot it. So with me, I'd be sitting like in a sailor's outfit, like Captain Crunch, pipe in my hand, reading a book or something like that.
Okay.
Was he really like that? He was nothing like that. But this is how he'll be remembered.
Reason we asked what flooded, that was a good question to ask you. Portugal, one of the few European countries, they say, that have the perfect climate for making wine. And it's home to 14 unique regions that pride themselves on the variants that they pump out. However, one town has found itself dealing with a bit of a headache thanks to an incident involving a local producer who inadvertently flooded the town with its product. Over the weekend, residents of a town located about 140 miles north of Lisbon ran into a very unexpected issue when the streets in the small village were suddenly inundated with hundreds of thousands of gallons of red wine that flooded the area after two massive vats at a nearby Lavera distillery suddenly collapsed.
You can't understand how
footage.
much wine they're talking about. Miles showed me the footage this morning. I mean, picture like anywhere that's flooding, all right? And all of these streets are on a bit of a slope, maybe a 30% incline, a 30-degree incline. So it's kind of like this raging river, but no joke, like it is 100% wine. And there's waves of wine going down.
If you were an alcoholic, you'd run out there with buckets.
I already said my wife would be out there with pitchers, buckets, her mouth hanging open.
I mean, whatever you could do. At least one person was able to film the fallout of the incident with a viral video that captures what was essentially a river of wine cascading down a hill as other residents stood outside to watch the surreal scene unfold. Now, according to the New York Post, firefighters there scrambled to prevent the wine from flowing into the nearby Sertima River. And while they were largely successful in achieving that goal, officials still had to deal with the environmental fallout of the incident after it was diverted into a nearby field where it saturated all the soil.
That is a lot of wine.
That's what I said.
I had not watched the video yet. That is unbelievable.
Right. The distillery, which said the incident stemmed from two tanks, were each home to 300,000 gallons of wine that ultimately went to waste. Issued a statement. They acknowledged the role. They said, hey, we assume full responsibility for the costs associated with cleaning and repairing the damage and having teams start working on it immediately. Now, at least one nearby residence had its entire basement flooded with wine, all the way to the top floor.
My dreams have been answered.
It doesn't appear that there were any serious casualties, unlike, they say, the infamous Great Molasses Flood that claimed the lives of 21 people.
That was Boston, correct?
That was Boston. So I had never heard of this before.
Oh, the Great Molasses thing?
I had never heard of this, so I did a little research on the Great Molasses
I've only heard
Flood.
of it because it sounds so ridiculous.
This is
slow moving?
No, apparently not. That's what I was trying to figure out. So here's what goes down at the Great Molasses Flood that killed 21 people.
Couldn't you just call it the molasses flood? I don't know that it's in competition with other molasses floods.
So around lunchtime, on the afternoon of January 15th, 1919, a giant tank of molasses burst open in Boston's North End. More than 2 million gallons of thick liquid poured out like a tsunami wave. The molasses reached speeds of up to 35 miles an hour.
Oh, damn.
Some of it more than 10 feet deep. The molasses flooded streets, crushed buildings, and trapped horses in an event that ultimately killed 21 people, injured 150 more. The smell of molasses lingered up until 1937.
This happened in 1919?
1919. The molasses lingered for decades. 100 years later, they pinpointed a handful of factors that combined to make the disaster so disastrous, among them flawed steel, safety oversights, all the different things. But the results were devastating. They say first you kind of laugh at it when you hear about it, then you read about it, and you realize just how horrible this thing was when it went down.
You said it up to 10-foot waves of molasses moving
at 35 miles per hour.
That's just crazy.
He's slow as molasses. Like,
Right.
hey, man, maybe we need to update that.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about? The infamous Great Molasses
I
Flood.
feel like you'd hear more about
I had to
that.
do some research. Like, what in the hell is this all
Like,
about?
you hear about the Great Chicago Fire, and you go, okay, we understand that, right? Because you still
The Boston Tea Party, whatever.
Sure, all these things. But like the molasses flood, like, brother, that is an interesting one. Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores. Justin, welcome to the program. The random question. All right. Let's go with this one. What are some of the things that you have never done in your lifetime that other people have?
I was just thinking about this. I don't know why, but I've never tripped on anything.
Okay. You mean as in drugs?
Right.
Okay. If you were going to try a drug, which one would it be? Acid? Are you going shrooms? What are you looking at?
Well, I've tried shrooms before and it just didn't do anything.
Okay.
So I think I'd go there.
Now, is it something you want to do or at least have that experience?
Yes and no. A little nervous, but I'm curious.
But that's why, like, shrooms to me are low grade. Acid is what it is, but you can do it with ayahuasca. You can do peyote. I mean, there's a couple that'll take you places.
How about just regular activities that people in the Pacific Northwest do? You ever gone skiing?
I used to snowboard, but I don't have the balance for it anymore.
Okay. Have you ever thought about jumping out of an airplane?
I did, yeah. I actually had a ticket one time. My parents bought me for my birthday, and then like a month after that, I broke my ankle, so that was kind of out of the question.
So you were planning to go, but you just couldn't pull it off.
Right. I had a year to do it, but I just never felt comfortable with my ankle after that. I'd do it now.
It's worth doing, Mike.
Okay. How old are you?
Jump out of the plane.
I'm 33.
See, I think you're in the window and it's okay. I mean, you hear about the people who do it like in their 70s and 80s and just checking one thing off the bucket list, but
it's tandem.
That's
why I'm like,
but it does seem like there should be an age limit.
Nah, man,
I feel like I'm past it.
No, I don't think for skydiving. I mean, it's not a normal thing for anybody to do. So I think at any age, if you decide to go.
That's why I said, like, when it's it's one thing if you said, I'm going to do it solo. Be like, suit yourself, right? If you've never done it before. But, like, tandem, they're in complete control.
How about scuba diving? In other words, what do you think would be more terrifying? Scuba diving or jumping out of an airplane?
To me, scuba diving, because to me, I did the skydiving thing, and the only thing you have to worry about, and believe it or not, it really does not cross your mind once you're out of the plane, is the idea of smashing into the planet. That's it, right? I mean, we understand the inherent danger. It's one thing. I feel like when you scuba dive, you just don't, and like, it could be oxygen deprivation, so you get disoriented and you die down there. It can be sharks, it can be some weird-ass animal, and get your flipper stuck in a freaking rock. I don't know. I just feel like scuba diving, not for me.
Reason we asked what are some of the things that you've never done in your lifetime, the others have. There's a 65-year-old famous man who says he's literally never said one cuss word in his entire life.
You never stubbed your toe?
He never said one cuss word his entire life.
That doesn't shock me. People that don't curse just don't curse.
I know. I feel like there are people like that, but I feel like, if you fall down the stairs, stub your toe, drop a glass on the ground, I feel like you kind of yell an expletive and you didn't mean to.
I'm sure he's got
his
pseudo curse words he could say.
Yes. Mike says them all. Dagnabbit!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mike, you typically don't cuss out loud very often. No. This man's name is Donnie Osmond.
Okay,
he says, quote, never have cussed in my life because I never heard my father curse. He was a tough guy, but he never swore. Obviously, I still think those words all the time. There are certain people I would love to say certain words to at lots of times, but I just think, Donnie, just try to be like your dad. So at 65 years old.
I'm glad he at least admits, like, oh no, I thoughts in my head.
I think them. I just don't say them.
A lot of curse words. I just don't say them out loud.
You can go F yourself, but I'd never say that to you.
More of the random question coming up. 206-803-ROCK.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Your guess is as good as mine. Kind of our categories: the sexiest jobs and the best NFL quarterbacks of all time.
Times.
We'll do your guess as good as mine. Answer emails and a random question. 206-803-ROCK. We had to reset the phone line, so if you're on hold, call back now.
Yeah, by the way, we had a couple of questions ago. Miles, we had a guy who had been digging graves for 13 years. He's since moved on to other things. And we were saying, well, what would you want to do with your body when you're done? All right, you want to be cremated, you want to be buried. He actually wants to be reduced to chum so that his buddies can catch crabs, in spite of the fact that his buddies made it very clear, we don't want to eat those crabs after they eat you.
Ted, you know, Taryn and her family, they go crabbing.
They go crabbing. Her dad's a great crabber.
Is it still chicken parts?
That's all I've used with
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I don't think crabs are picky. I really feel like you can grab any meat product, they'll probably
That's how we used to catch them as kids.
Right, and like I follow a couple fishermen in the Chesapeake Bay, Chesapeake Bay, sorry.
Yeah.
And like sometimes they're just like, all right, you told us what you wanted us to try. Let's try them. And I mean, they'll use Cheetos, chips, whatever. Like crabs do not care.
Okay. So really just basically anything you have
Yeah,
out
that's
there.
like kind of the shtick is that like once a week he'll be like, all right, we're trying this now. And then it's always like, and we got crab.
And we got crab. You know what? I hope they like broccoli. Finally, I can find a use for it. But I said, look, man, when I go, I'd like to be taxidermied. Well, somebody ruined it. Says, hey, man, basically... if you get the reason we don't get taxidermy is that our skin does not last. It would get really ugly really quickly. So I will not be taxidermied. And then we were told, you asked Miles, what to you has more inherent danger? Skydiving or scuba diving?
Yeah.
And somebody here says, well, skydiving, the danger only comes from one direction. When scuba diving, it can come from any direction. Someone else points out, diving is one of the most peaceful activities you can possibly do. In warm water, not here.
Well, yeah. Look, I'm just worried about what's in there. I'm not worried. I know the inherent risks of skydiving.
Right,
I know the one thing that can go wrong.
That's it, right?
Once you get past that, yes, I can break an ankle, maybe sprain one when we hit the ground.
Sure.
I understand that there maybe could be some other things. But the unknown of the deep is what freaks me out.
Yeah, man, I make no bones about it. It's not for me.
I've seen big fish. I've seen barracuda snorkeling. I've seen sharks snorkeling, tarpon, grouper, you name it. Bigger fish. And you still just don't realize what's around you. Like, you could look down. I saw what they used to call a devil ray, but that's not PC anymore. But
so that was called a devil.
Fluff out of the bottom of the sand.
Right.
And I mean, he was at least 6 feet, 7 feet wingspan.
And it still freaks you out.
And you couldn't see him. And he just kind of came out. I don't know what startled him. It wasn't me. He just decided to get up and swim away. I was like, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Like,
I don't have a big desire to go scuba diving.
I really don't, man. And then I'll see, I'll watch any of those documentaries where guys are going to jump in the water. Find it fascinating. It's just not for me. But like the people that scuba dive at night, I'm like, okay. I just feel like
I wouldn't go swimming at night.
Man.
In the ocean.
And I mean, they're taking
I've done it once.
boat.
It's terrifying.
It is.
Was it on your mind the whole time?
Yes.
Correct. But Bernie was dating a woman that had just awesome, huge boobs. And it was me, my buddy, Bernie, and her. And I remember she looked at us. She goes, we're going swimming in the ocean. And I said, have fun. She's like, I'm at a skinny dip. If that helps your decision, we want you guys to go. We were like, we'll see you in there.
Was it worth it?
Yes, they were awesome. But I thought I was going to die.
Ted died in the pursuit of boobs. I thought I was going to die, but I got to see her boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's about the only thing that would make me go swimming in the ocean at night.
The thing is, you're not wrong. We can be on a boat, middle of the ocean, it's at night. I'm not getting in the water.
Isn't that what happened in Jaws?
Correct.
The chick went skinny dipping, and then he put his ass in the water, and then she's eating.
No.
Yeah.
Right, and we were swimming on the beach, right? So, I mean, it was just like Jaws. And trust me, we tried to back out. And she took her top off, was just like, you better get in. We were like, where, come in. Can you walk it backwards? You know, because I mean, look, she knew what she was doing. She's just like, are you coming in? You better get like, yo, all right, we're on it.
Hello, Todd. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola. Todd, welcome to the program. Random question. All right.
Right?
Yes.
This could be good.
Let's go with this one. What is something that makes you feel uncomfortable? Like you're like, this is not good.
Watching a sex scene with your parents in the room.
Mm-hmm. What makes you feel uncomfortable?
If I'm in a restaurant and somebody that may have a cold eating dinner and they start blowing their nose, like a big old snotty blowing their nose into a napkin, gross, ick. That makes me uncomfortable.
Are you afraid you're going to get sick, or it's just the idea of not being...
No, it's just the idea of that's not a right thing. You don't, it's ick.
Is it one of those things that's always bothered you?
Yeah, if you got to blow your nose, you go to the restroom.
I agree. Look, I do it in a restaurant, or if I'm at the bar.
Right.
I would never blow my nose with even my napkin that I'm eating with, and put it on the dish, because I don't want them to have to deal with my crap. So I typically do go to the bathroom, blow my nose, and come back out.
I'm trying to think. You're not wrong.
The little ones, but when it's one of them big ass, gurgly, blow your hardcore.
Right, and you can hear it all.
Right.
It bothers me.
Okay. I have no problem peeing and standing up beside people in the urinals.
No.
But I don't like pooping beside someone.
But you take the middle stall, man.
I do take the middle stall.
You make it the factor that we must sit next to you because there are three.
Yes, but I do typically just wrap it up at that point when someone else comes in and like, all right, you can have it.
Right.
I do that. I give up the fight.
Yeah, I don't like pooping next to people. And it's stupid.
It's
it
weird.
Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
But whatever you understand what the other person's doing. That's the only reason we're in here. We're both sitting down. And I know they hate it too. Mm-hmm. The only place where people let it go is the airport.
Right.
Like that's the one place for people that it's like, look, man, I've been on a long flight or I've been in security forever. Whatever. Nobody cares. No judgment. Like, let her loose.
I'd say rest stops too. Anytime you're on a long trip,
everyone's just understood.
Right. Everyone's just like, all right, cool, whatever.
Do your thing.
Okay. Here's one.
Have you ever heard someone else pooping when you're in a spot pot or a porta potty? That is one of the more uncomfortable. So I'm in there taking a leak. You can hear someone unloading a number two and the one next to you. Mm-hmm. Typically, you don't hear that much from the other person, but like, oh my God. And I remember the one time I heard it, and they were unleashing something bad. Maybe they had a stomach flu. I don't know, but it was worse than usual. Anyway, when I step out of the porta potty, that door opens and you can't help but to look to see who this person is. And I'm based on what I heard, I'm expecting like a 400-pound trucker with a neck beard. It was this super hot woman, maybe 110 pounds. And in that moment, and look, no offense to her, but like, I knew she was drop dead gorgeous, but also at the same time, you are not sexy to me right now because I just heard what you did, man.
Now, my entire life, being a heterosexual man, I have no problem with anything else. Whatever you want to do, you want to do. But you used to go to this one dude at Rudy's, and he would give you a shampoo before he would cut your hair.
Yeah.
Now, this guy, he had hands of steel, but they were soft. All right. And he would massage my scalp. And I mean, the hair's tingling up on my arms. I've got like chills going down my body. It felt so good. I just want to be like, you want to go out, man? Just one night, man. Let me kick the tires on it, man. Because you were just gentle and still rugged and just, I mean, like I'm just
gentle
like,
but rugged.
Don't stop massaging my scalp. This is amazing. But, initially I kind of felt uncomfortable, but after a while I was like, I'm embracing this.
You have to, man.
This is the greatest thing ever, man. I could just come in here on a daily basis, not even get a haircut. Just like, come on, Paul, just rub my head like you did yesterday. That's all I want.
I mean, that is kind of an issue in that industry.
Well, not for me. I liked it.
No, I know, but like those women are just doing their jobs.
Right.
And like a lot of times there's a lot of attractive hairstylists and stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I dated one, my sister does it, and they have both mentioned like it is so creepy. It's like some dudes will be like, oh, that feels so nice. But it's like, stop. I'm just washing your hair.
Yeah, we know. But if it feels, a lot of times they're not trying to be creepy or hitting on you. They're just letting you know it feels good. We did a thing back in Baltimore. It's called Men's Night Out, Guys Night Out, something like that. I don't remember. But we stopped by some like dude spa. And one of the first things we were going to get was a massage. And there were these hot chicks everywhere. And I'm like, oh, yeah. They sent this big dude in to do me. And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. But Miles, to your point, by the time he was done, it's like, Roger, you are the man.
You want to go out, man?
Don't let anybody tell you different, brother.
I'll pay for dinner.
Yeah, like, my God,
I'll
man.
pay for some conversation. Reason we ask what makes you feel uncomfortable. A recent poll asked men and women if they'd be uncomfortable in a series of situations. One of them was applying sunscreen to the same gender, a friend's back. So man to man, woman to woman.
No. I prefer to do a woman because I'm creepy, but no, it doesn't bug me if the dude needs it.
It doesn't bother me at all, but that is a massive deal within our guy community.
As far as what? Just making sure.
A lot of people just won't do it.
I'm not doing it, man.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, he's going to get sun poisoning.
Well, I can't get in the middle of my back.
Right.
Look, I don't mind. I don't care at all.
Buy the spray.
I'll do it for a random dude. Like, right, you just want suntan lotion on your back.
I get it, man. It's how I apply it is whether or not it's going to be creepy.
42% of men say that makes them feel uncomfortable. Technically, they didn't say they wouldn't do it, just that it was uncomfortable. Only 10% of women are bothered by doing that for a female friend. Then again, women are attractive, men are not. Here are the results from other same gender situations.
The sunscreen on the back, I will say, though, I have been before at a river, right? We've been out there for hours, right? And one dude, he's in very good shape.
Yeah.
Right? He was like, I don't know, like, can you just help me out? So I'm like, sure. No big deal. So I'm putting lotion on, and just as I'm really like rubbing it in on his strong traps and everything, that guy's a goddamn helicopter taking pictures of this festival. I'm holding his shoulders, and I go, they're going to put that in some kind of local paper.
You're going to be a stock image.
Love on the river.
Right.
Because then it took about a couple of minutes of me being like, dude, don't sweat it. I got you. You're fine.
Yeah. How about sharing a bed?
I don't care.
Again, I don't mind. If it's a road, if we're on a trip and we just want to and we're not going to spend much time in there, let's just save some money and share a bed.
Yeah.
Okay. 42% of men say they feel uncomfortable sharing a bed with a male friend. Only 21% of women agree. I think it really just depends on, like, are you somewhat respectful of the situation? Like, can you not steal all the covers? Can you not snore?
Right.
Can I still have my side of the bed? Are you not going to want to punch me in the morning when the alarm goes off?
Castle? Yeah.
Yeah, those kind of things.
I don't know that I can promise you I won't take the covers or snore.
I think you would do both of those things.
Yeah.
But I think I would know that going into it.
But this was the 8th alarm in Chicago. And I'm like, dude, if you don't get up and get on this flight, I'm going to kill you. Then he just started swinging at me. When I realized, don't try to wake Ryan Castle up if he wants to get some extra Z's.
This is the truth about Ryan, man. If you need to wake him up, when we were in Portland, right, there's probably 8 of us in this one room, and it's like, well, who's going to wake up Castle? And everybody's like, not it, because his most people kind of wake up with the start. He literally throws punches. So you open the door, you yell for him, he can't hear you. So then you grab things, you have to throw a shoe at him. But if you are within punching distance, you will get punched.
44% of men say they are uncomfortable at a gay bar, compared to 20% of women. To be honest with you on that one, I could care less.
If you got booze, I'm good.
That's not why I went to the bar.
Right.
My idea of going to the bar was, I'm going to go pick up chicks tonight. I'm going to go get some food. I'm going to get some beverages.
That one I can fathom more than the other ones, though, because you're literally in a spot where people are there to pick up other guys.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
As opposed to me putting suntan lotion on your back and you can't handle it.
Well, we went to a gay bar years ago with the idea that guys were trying to pick us up and buy us drinks, right? That was the whole plan. We were dead broke. We're here for the job interview, I think it was, to get hired in Seattle. Well, nobody was biting. And we couldn't believe it. It was like, come on, man. And finally, a guy walked over and said, look, man, you're too hetero. It's the only time I've ever been insulted like that. Like, what do you mean I'm too hetero? It's like, man, everyone knew you guys were hetero when you walked in. We're not buying you drinks. Why'd you come in? And we told them, we were dead honest. Man, we're dead broke, but we really like drinking. We were hoping that we'd lead you along and someone buy us drinks. So they bought us drinks. They're just like, they were like, that is so pathetic. I'm like, but it's true, man. So got along great, shot pool. They bought us drinks. I'm like, thank you, guys.
This group that I knew from a restaurant in my neighborhood, we threw down, partied all the time. But like Monday, like tonight, it's industry night.
Right.
So their restaurant is closed. So they're going to throw down. And a buddy of mine, his boyfriend, 2 other waitresses, which were smoking hot, they were all going to meet at a bar up on 45th in Wallingford. I think it's called Changes, maybe. By the way, the food there looked fantastic. I get there when they tell me to. Like, okay, we're going to meet you at 7:30. Well, from this point on, I don't know if they were drinking too much at the other place. They were late. And when I say they were late, they were like real late.
Batman late?
45 minutes late. So I'm at the bar, and then I'm getting the shots sent down to me. So I'm like, hell with it. I'll send a shot down there. So I'm like, that's the way it goes. That's the way you play the game. Someone's going to buy you a drink. I buy them a drink. In the meantime, I'm just thinking to myself, you guys got to get here because he just shot me another drink down. Right. And now I'm going to be hammered by the time you get here. Now I got to buy this dude 2 shots, 3 shots.
He's probably thinking,
all said and done.
I wonder if he remembers me from Rudy.
Exactly. 48% of men are uncomfortable crying in front of a male friend. I think that's situational. You understand why your buddy's upset or your friend's upset.
Did we just watch Brian's song? Let it out, bro.
Compared to 18% of women don't care. 45% of men are uncomfortable saying I love you to a male relative or friend, compared to 17% of women. I have no problem with that.
No.
I mean, that is not an issue I have, is like being so manly that you can't tell someone you care about them and you love them. I mean, that's not a big deal.
I don't know if that's manly at that point, because that sounds a little cowardly.
Yeah.
Look, again, I don't mind. I know a lot of people back east, they just can't say it.
I know. It's the East Coast
and I just go, all right. Look,
I miss you, man. I love you. Yeah.
Yeah. But truthfully, I mean, I probably had to be in my 30s before I started saying it to that much to people in my family, especially other males.
And when you say it to another dude, make sure you wink.
17% of men are uncomfortable hugging a male friend compared to 5% of women. I hug more dudes on Saturday than Jesus God, man.
I'll tell you an awkward one.
It's like a bro down, the hug-a-thon at the 884 pub.
Is the shirtless hug with a buddy.
Because it's just gross, man.
Ooh, I've never done
You know
that.
what I mean? Because they're all sweaty. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, it
How
happened
much
to,
of stuff.
happened to me years ago on the log boom, Seafair. As we were hugging, I go, this is a little awkward. He goes, it is. You're sweaty.
The only situation, the only one where women are more uncomfortable than men was being naked in a changing room or at the gym or a locker room.
Really?
67% of women are uncomfortable being naked in front of other women, while only 49% of men agree.
But the view's better in their room. Like,
Yeah, trust me, ladies. It's just...
come on, man.
No one can tell me that testicles are attractive.
No.
You might think a penis is attractive. I'm like, good on it. But testicles, I mean, it's like, what, the waddle hanging off the turkey's neck?
Yes.
And then add hair. I mean, like, we take something ugly, let's make it uglier. Let's make sure it's always wrinkled. Does anyone have a smooth scrotum? Is that even possible? You know what I mean? It's wrinkly, it's hairy,
Okay.
it just hangs there.
Who do we know that used to go to the gym with another female friend, and they were talking about somebody that we mutually knew?
Oh, yeah. God, who was that?
I don't know. But they're like, I couldn't.
Oh, it was my friend Emily. And she.
That's exactly who it was.
So, my friend Emily, good looking chick, right? And she was at the gym, and she's just sharing this particular anecdote. She's like, just understand who she is, though, okay? So, impulse control is important in life. We all know this. So, she says she was changing, and some other lady walked in there, and this particular lady, grooming was just not part of it. Basically, it's like buckwheat and a leg lock, all right? But my friend Emily, the whole thing is she's in there, she goes, I'm changing. And this lady, like, she starts talking to me, but she takes off her underwear and she goes, there's just so much hair. And she outwardly says, damn! I was like, well, you can't do that. She's like, well, it was too late, man. I already said it. Damn!
Sexy jobs and NFL quarterbacks coming up with your guess is as good as mine. You are listening to The Men's Room.
A little short on college funds? BECU has your back. Our student loans are fixed rate, and they have no origination fees or prepayment penalties. It's just another way we put BECU members first. Check out our student loans at becu.org/student loans. BECU, power in people. Financing is subject to BECU membership, credit approval, and other underwriting criteria. Not every applicant will qualify. Federally insured by NCUA.
Are you dealing with a personal injury? Don't go it alone. Turn to the experienced team at Phillips Law Firm. Their attorneys have helped thousands of clients get the compensation they deserve. Call Phillips Law Firm now. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
It's after bedtime, the kids are asleep, and the moms are out to play.
We're Dina and Kristen, the duo behind the Instagram account Big Little Feelings. I'm Dina. I'm a child therapist and mom of two who nerds out on all things neurobiology and psychology. And Kristen is a parent coach who wrangles 3 kids on a daily basis, here to give it to us like it is.
We weren't meant to do this parenting thing alone. Consider After Bedtime your village.
Follow After Bedtime with Big Little Feelings on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Your guess is as good as mine. Coming up at first time for a few emails from the Men's Room at KISW.com. Start Brian the birthdays. Old Pacholos, please give a birthday shout out to my son Colin as he launches his second quarter around the sun. He is 25 today. That's awfully optimistic, isn't it?
Damn,
you think Colin's going to live to be 100? I mean, really? Colin? I mean, come on.
You know, that is fair.
I mean, he's a third of the way down. Right? I mean, come on, Mom. Let's see here. Can you have a Leroy Jenkins, a Suck It Up cupcake, and the Dirty Germans discussing electricity, as Colin is an electrician by trade.
Oh,
Thanks, guys.
he's never making it.
That's from Colin's mom, dad, and little sister, Krista.
Let's do this.
So, suck it up, cupcake!
Yeah, you're an electrician, so we already know what you do. I wonder if you do the same thing in the bedroom. You know, The last German I slept with didn't do it like that. He's not doing it right.
So if I was an electrician, I would always tell women, like, kind of like the pen light to see if the socket is charged. I'd be like, I have to use my personal pen light to see if you're charged.
Yeah, let me use your built-in flashlight.
Patrol, today's my 28th rotation around the sun. I've spent 10 of those years listening to your show. I love listening to you guys because you make me laugh. And as a fellow Baltimore fan, I can't get enough of thrill talking about the Ravens. So for my birthday, can I get the Dirty Germans' twisted sense of humor, incorporating... no, we're not doing that. Just the Dirty Germans. Oh, Jesus Christ. You guys talking all over yourself about the best flavor of liquor pudding and some words of wisdom from Miles. Thanks, bitches. You guys rock. That from Rob in Lodi, California.
Yeah, I'm glad that you also like the Baltimore Ravens, because obviously if you like the color purple, I will show you my alternate purple helmet.
Yeah, so, I'm wearing my purple helmets right now. It's always on me.
Yeah, he's wearing the away jersey. I'm wearing the Monday Night Primetime home jersey.
You're not wearing the all black?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, well, I'm wearing purple.
Well, so I'm wearing the white jersey, but the helmet is still purple.
Yeah.
I will say the Ravens probably, to me, in my mind, I mean, outside the Raiders, probably look the best in their black jersey.
And the black,
and the all black.
Liquor pudding, my favorite flavor of liquor
pudding. Ooh, liquor pudding, man. That's a pretty simple one. I'll tell you right now, it's called Tanya.
All
right, I guess
and it's that simple because you just know it's going to be good. It might come back to haunt you, brother, but if you put in the work, it'll be worth your time. It's full of heritage.
It's the exact opposite of ice cream for me. I like vanilla ice cream. I don't like chocolate ice cream. But I like chocolate pudding more than I like vanilla pudding.
Was there pudding shots this weekend and I just missed them?
I don't think
What, in Bremerton?
Yeah. I thought somebody told me that.
Really? There may have been.
Okay. All right. Some words of wisdom. Think about this. A fire truck is actually a water truck. Why are deliveries on a ship called cargo, but in a car, it's called a shipment? And finally, if two vegans are arguing, is that still considered a beef?
All right. I like that one.
Yeah.
Well, funny.
Guys, today's my best friend Kevin's birthday. Can he get an OG fish sandwich, a rhino fart, and a ladies' man so you don't want a fish sandwich? Thanks, guys. Have a good one. That from CJ.
Do I get a fish sandwich?
So you don't want a fish sandwich?
Hello, Miles, Thrill, Ted, and Mike. I'd like to wish my friend Melissa a very happy birthday by giving her the following: a fish sandwich medley, a bagel guy, and you're talking all over yourselves about the pros and cons about seeing a live sporting event. Have a great day, guys. That from Steven.
Can I get
a filet of fish sandwich?
So you know I got
I'll have a fish sandwich.
Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich?
Do I get a fish sandwich?
With the cheese and the tartar on the side.
I want a fish sandwich.
Is it too early for a fish sandwich? Cheese and tartar on the side.
Yeah.
I smell the fish sandwich. Maybe some dinner relish in the morning. At noon, and at night.
Can I buy you a fish sandwich? So you don't want a fish sandwich?
Not God or my father or my boss.
Pros and cons of live sporting event. The best thing about a live sporting event is the fact that everything about it except for the game.
The great thing is, even though you're spending way too much money for it, you don't get pissed drunk and scream your head off, and people don't mind it there in that situation.
Shut your mouth.
Patel, today's my 45th anniversary of becoming my parents' sex trophy. A longtime listener, I'm a truck driver. I moved to Oklahoma and listen religiously on the Odyssey app. Boom. Can I get an OG fish sandwich? Some words of wisdom from Miles, and everyone talking all over themselves about truck driving and Texas A&M football. Thank you guys. Love the show. Keep up the great work. Sincerely, Carl Lewis, not the track star.
Do I get a fish sandwich?
Oh, thanks.
Okay. If you're in China and you buy clothes, does the tag say, I just made down the street? Speaking of, if your shirt isn't tucked into your pants, are your pants tucked into your shirt? And finally, if you get out of the shower clean, how does your towel always get dirty?
I wonder about that one.
And as far as Texas A&M football,
Texas A&M football is the closest thing to a culture. It's fine. I think it's good. They're trying to build a program back
you know, that's got to be
massive fan base.
At least you're away from people, man, listen to all the crap all the freaking time, right? Whatever.
All right, guys, here we go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you. BG.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefly.
Thank you, Bobbin.
Ted, you said that you heard they were putting shots at the 884 this weekend in Bremerton.
I could have sworn somebody told me that.
They probably did. Suzanne, the owner of said establishment, says, we did not have putting shots. If someone had them, they were pocket shots.
Oh, pocket shots.
All right. I did not have one, but if they had been there, I would have been disappointed in myself I didn't get one.
A couple extra emails, but first, let's get a contestant on the line for your guess is as good as mine now, 206-803-ROCK. Speaking of the 884, we get this. Whoever says never meet your heroes is an idiot. You all were awesome. It was great to meet with each of you at the 884. I appreciate all three, four including VD. Took the time to have actual conversations with me and the rest of the fans. Thank you guys for making the Bremerton spot a stop. Sausage and salsa, awesome. Can't say anything about the beer as I'm 33 years and 1 month sober. Wow. Thanks again. It was very cool meeting all of you. That from the Submariner. We did get a chance to talk to because he came up to me. He's like, remember, I'm the guy that said you're saying it wrong. Well, I mean, as a comic book fan growing
Submariner.
up, it was always
right?
a Submariner.
Yeah, I would not have known. Hey, look, man, the whole point of the Men's Room World Tour is to talk to people. And everyone there was awesome. Yeah. Everyone. That was such a cool event, man.
Oh, let's see here. Men's Room World Tour. Guys, sad news from Frankfurt, a.k.a. Main Street in Germany. The Hooters closed here. Sorry, Miles. But in its place coming soon is a Kansas City barbecue joint called Little Susie's. Looking forward to announce your world tour dates for Frankfurt, Germany.
Hey, look, man.
That's where our buddy lands.
Send it up the chain to Ryan Castle. Tell him, hey, man,
we'll go.
I promise you.
I'll go back to Germany in a heartbeat.
If we can get a date for a Men's Room World Tour in Frankfurt, Germany, I'm there.
Yep.
Problem is, we're only going to have that one guy there.
I know, but still.
That's okay. Still a party.
He should be ready. There'll be a lot of Americans over there coming up. That's where they're playing the Germany games this year.
Oh, correct. As we look forward to any suggestions you guys have on a possible world tour stop, we get this. But y'all has got a suggestion for a venue in Woodinville and the surrounding area. There's a pub called Tony's, and there's also a pizza joint down the hill in Woodinville called Pizza Coop. Worth a shot. For this one, Liquor and Horror, is that from Dennis? I looked at Tony's. That's more in toward the Kirkland area.
Okay.
That looks like a really cool sports bar.
Hey, man, I don't care. Look, if you can fit us and we can go there, I'm more than happy to do it. For sure.
And one more. Subject is...
Does Tony's know, or is that guy just like, hey, I love Tony's. I do one there.
That's the thing.
He's throwing out
there. A lot of times you get a bar owner that says, love to have you. Other times people do it at this bar. And that poor person's like, I don't know.
And guys, I've heard you talk about blue crab and soft shell crab sandwiches. The H Mart Asian grocery store in Linwood sells live and frozen blue crab.
Oh, yeah.
So my question is, after cooking them, can you eat the shell as well? I was tempted to buy some over the weekend. I really want to try them. They are pretty aggressive in the live container. Here's the deal on that one, Doug. Soft shell crabs are a particular crab where the season is only 1 or 2 months a year.
I think it might even be like 2 weeks. Because basically it's a molting process.
Yes.
So it's just a blue crab that has gotten rid of its shell because it's trying to get another one. Yes, you can eat that, but if it's just a standard blue crab,
you can't.
Do not eat the shell unless you want to rip your mouth apart. And yes, they are aggressive. Blue crabs are super aggressive.
Yeah. Especially
they are. A lot of other
It's the whole East Coast thing.
A lot of them aren't, but other crab species.
Yeah.
But also, I emailed that guy back too. Like, the only issue I have with finding them sometimes in those markets is that they're females. And I don't eat the females.
But once they've already put them in the
Unless they're
tank.
human.
I still don't care. I can't. You grow up in Maryland.
Right, it's just beating into your head.
It's beating to your head. Because my buddy said the same thing. He goes, well, they're already in the tank. And I said, I don't care. I don't want to support eating female blue crabs on any level.
No, I understand that. I completely understand. It's just we're conditioned because that's where we're from. Maybe it's stupid, maybe it's not. But that,
right.
If you're from Maryland, that's just been beaten in your head.
Is there a female crab season?
I don't believe so. I don't think so.
Look, they'll sell them.
I'm asking.
And people eat them. They're generally cheaper. I don't know if the meat tastes different. My dad always told us, like, the meat sucks too, so you don't eat them. But, right, my buddy was like, I don't understand. They're already in the tank. And I said, it's just that way.
All right.
And then I had family in town, and he asked them, and my uncle was like, hell no, you can't eat a female blue crab.
Okay, fair enough. Time for a little Your Guess is as good as mine. It's an easy game to play. You pick from one of two categories and then try to get as many right in said category before 3 strikes and you're out. Steve, who is our contestant ready to play Your Guess is as good as mine.
Hello, Brandon. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Brandon, welcome to the program. And Your Guess is as good as mine. All right, your categories. Brandon, we have the jobs that women consider to be sexy and the ones that men consider to be sexy as well. Then we have for you the NFL's top 10 quarterbacks of all time. So, Brandon, you want to go QBs or sexy jobs?
I'm going to go with sexy jobs.
Sexy jobs for men or for women?
All right.
For women.
Okay. So these are the jobs that women consider to be sexy for men.
Okay, so these are jobs that men occupy that women find attractive.
Yeah, all right, Brandon, let me ask you, what do you do for a living? In other words, what are you hoping to hear on this list?
I do HVAC.
HVAC. Well,
you know what? I don't have a good feeling about it, but who knows?
Okay.
You never know.
You don't know.
Well, the back part sucks.
You never know. You might get that one right homeowner, right?
Okay.
The one right one, yes.
So these are the top 10 sexiest professions according to women. For men, you know how the game is played. There are 10 professions. You need to get as many right before 3 strikes and you're out. What is your first guess?
I'm going to go with CEOs.
CEOs? Not a bad guess. Not on the list.
I would guess if you're going down the money road, because CEOs, no matter, even if they're a great CEO, you're going to be perceived as a douchebag. But I do think, like, doctor might be on there.
I mean, I haven't even put construction workers on there.
Firefighters, policemen.
Yeah, almost any of the village people minus the Navy guy. Sorry, Navy guys.
Minus the Navy guy.
I don't know that
they want a native in a headdress before they take the Navy guy.
I just don't know that their dress whites are the best looking ones.
Okay, agreed.
Yeah, let's go with firefighters.
Firefighters number 1.
Oh, really?
That is the set. Well, yes.
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What are you thinking on sexy dudes?
They're not met firefighters. They're not sexy. They got a dirty solo
They can drink
stash.
you under the table.
Is that sexy?
They have calendars.
Because if drinking is sexy, my wife should find me much more attractive than she does.
But this guy is right. There's firefighter calendars. Like, I don't think I see a lot of police officer calendars.
When I was getting started in the auction industry working with my dad, we had this one auction where there was this particular item where you could actually pick out the firefighters that were going to be in the calendar. And they had a handful of them out there. And it was all women that was bidding.
Oh, yeah.
And if they get to a certain level, the firefighters would start tearing the shirts off.
They would go nuts.
Oh, they would.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Firefighter number 1, Brandon. All right, what's your next guess?
Let's go with construction worker.
I will go with that. Number 2 on the list, that is builder, construction worker. You are correct.
You know what, Ted? There was no firemen in the village people, which almost seems like a crime.
There wasn't? My bad.
There was a biker.
Well, maybe men don't find other men attractive who are firefighters.
No, apparently the solo stash was the thing.
Yeah. Okay, Brandon, you're 2 for 2, but you have 1 strike. So 2 for 2.
By the way, a text came in that says, "Bro, I was in the Army. Women love that stupid Navy dress white, despite the fact that they look like Cabbage Patch Kids."
All right, my bad. I was wrong.
Let's go with the armed forces.
Armed military?
Forces. Military is not on the list.
Really?
No, it is not.
I'm shocked by that one.
Yep.
How?
That's crazy.
I'm not a woman. I didn't vote.
As I say, the dress blues the Marine Corps wears, those things are awesome.
Somebody here on the text line says UPS driver better be on there where you have packages.
Yeah, I put UPS driver on there.
That is true. Let's go with delivery driver then.
Delivery driver, not on the list.
Oh, man. Was that all 3?
That was 3, yeah. Sorry, Brandon.
This is a tough one, dude.
I'm not a woman.
All right, how about police officer?
Police officer is number 3. Tim.
There we go.
There you go.
So fireman, construction worker, police officer.
Correct.
I'm going to guess doctor.
That's who your mom tells you to marry. Correct.
Yeah, right. That's for the money, not the looks.
Okay.
I mean, are lawyers on there? Come on.
Number 10, man.
Lawyer.
Yeah, you're a lawyer. There's how many TV shows are dealing with lawyers now?
Correct. But do lawyers look like that? I mean, look,
there's
if
just
you
so
watch
many
TV,
of them.
like doctors and nurses are all gorgeous if you watch TV. This is patently untrue.
Okay. All right, you guys are correct with police officer, doctor, builder, firefighter, and lawyer.
Rock star?
Musician. Number 7 on the list.
That is so true.
Yep.
I mean, do we go with athlete as well?
Yeah. I mean, from a professional standpoint, yes. They're not on the list.
No kidding.
I think there's such a minute population that you don't really have that opportunity.
Right.
I'm not saying that there aren't women who haven't slept with pro athletes. You just know it because they told you.
But they only care about pros where, like, as a musician, you can play a club, you can play Climate Pledge Arena.
But these are professions.
Right,
So it's not your hobby.
I got one. Personal trainer.
Oh, that's really good. Not on the list.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, hang on here. Profession. Like a TV person, like journalist, TV.
Nah, we're not sexy.
How about nurse?
Not on the list.
He said scrubs.
For women. Huh. But on number 2 for the sexiest women professions according to men. So nurse is number 2.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Okay, think about handymen. People who take care of you.
Like electrician?
Mechanics? Electrician.
All right.
Number 8 on being sexy.
Is plumber not on there?
Plumber is not a sexy profession in that world.
But electrician is. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Pool boy.
Ooh, here's a good one. Somebody says pilot.
Pilot not on the list.
Really?
Here they are for you. Lawyers number 10.
One last person on the list. Sandwich artist?
No.
I know where that guy's working right now.
I know exactly. I know your job.
So the top 10 sexiest professions according to women. Number 10, lawyer. Number 9, farmer. Farmer. 8, electrician. 7, musician. 6, paramedic.
Okay.
5, mechanic, followed by doctor at number 4, police officer at number 3, builder at number 2, and firefighter at number 1. Now, the top 10 sexiest professions according to men. Number 1, flight attendant.
Yeah.
Number 2, nurse. Number 3, secretary. Number 4, teacher, followed by actor, police officer, doctor, bartender, maid, and singer.
Maid.
Jesus. Dude, I don't make the list up. I didn't vote. Coming up, we'll drink and toast with the shot of the day. You are listening to The Men's Room.
At Casper, we love all things sleep, so we thought it would be fitting to make a sale that covers, well, everything. Save up to 25% on mattresses and up to 50% on everything else you need for better sleep at Casper.com or a store near you through October 24th. Exclusions apply. See Casper.com/promo.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up, we'll drink and toast with the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, a quick check on Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, a new study found the classic Southern American accent has been fading away.
You don't say.
They said
that was terrible. Actually,
they said the younger the younger generation's to blame. Like, well, yeah, they're the ones supposed to be carrying the torch of that accent.
How do they think it's fading? I mean, typically you just sound like what you've always heard words pronounced.
My guess is as people grow up with with social media the way that it is, especially like TikTok, getting out there and everybody's watching videos of each other.
Okay,
I think there's kind of becoming a combined American accent.
Okay. You know, it's interesting. I've told this before, but my father, when he was growing up as a teenager, he had to spend summers in a place called Eagle Lake, Texas. And he was like, dude, it's as desolate as it gets. You spend it with the grandparents, you churn your own butter, this kind of thing. And there was, as he says, like this Yahoo that lived on the other side of the fence, more farm property, but every summer they'd see each other, kind of reconnect. And he's like, it was just this hillbilly guy. And he's like, man, one day I'm going to be a TV reporter. Right? My dad's just thinking to himself, as he says, like, yeah, man, I mean, like, you got to lose the accent. Anyway,
no, you ain't.
Fast forward. And this guy is a TV reporter, and his name was Dan Rather.
You're kidding.
That's what I said. He goes, dude, you wouldn't have known it at the time. He grew up in Texas as well. He had to spend the summers with his grandparents, same place. Neither one wanted to be there, so they commiserate. You know, this sucks. Don't want to be. But he said he had a thick Southern accent, but he always talked about doing television journalism. And my dad's just like, man, oh man. Like,
I wonder if he took like classes or something like that.
He probably did. You know, but my father says, looking back, you realize he was devoted. You know, who knows what teens mean when they say anything, but this guy obviously was devoted enough to what he wanted to do that he crafted his speech so that we knew him as Dan Rather with the CBS Evening News. My dad's like that. The last time I saw that guy, I was like, hey, y'all.
Coming up next.
I'm going to go ahead and be one of them there TV reporters.
When you move back away from where you grew up and you have that accent, you can start to lose it a little bit. Some people don't.
Sure.
But most people do. Then when you go right back home, you fall right back into it.
Right.
It's weird.
When you guys first came over here, Miles, your accent was thick as snot, man.
I've been in Baltimore for 10 years. So I probably talk
Yo,
like...
what's up, homie?
I probably talk like this, you know. I don't know very much.
Our question of the day.
That's right.
It's going to be 16% of people claim to never...
Oh, no.
Claim to never what?
Go down rabbit holes on the internet.
I can understand you. Yes.
Oh. I mean, that seems impossible not to go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen every time, but inevitably there's something that you read. Then they have a link to another story that's similar, and you click that. Then there's like 3 more links. The next thing you know, you just wasted an hour and a half learning about something stupid.
Or if you're in the case of our friend D. Ted Smith or our buddy Marshawn, you're watching a YouTube video that leads to another one. They always have a handful that just they fit.
They're kind of, you enjoyed this? Watch this one.
Correct. Which, other than that, I really never gone down a whole lot of rabbit holes. I'll I scroll and then whatever comes up next. I've never really dove into what comes next.
I do when it's nerdy, right? So if I start reading my space crap,
sure. You and VD just
black holes do what? Next thing you know, man, I have lost 3 hours.
Right.
And I have all this knowledge about something no one cares about, and the only person I can tell is VD.
Started as
the
black
only
holes,
person who cares.
And now I know what the gas on Jupiter is.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I do it all the time. Just if I'm watching a show and there's some historical meaning behind it.
Right.
What was the last one a couple weeks ago? I started watching that that show about the fur trade.
Right.
Before I knew it, I'd been laying in bed for half an hour reading all about the fur trade and the battles. Like, I don't care.
That gave me an insight to how you do what you do, Ted, which is just have a wealth of knowledge of really just everything. You found a branch that you really knew nothing about, and now it's just Wikipedia. It's just articles.
Yeah, that's I was like, well, let me click on this.
But what's funny is you're going to watch Jeopardy 3 years from now and be like, the category is the fur trade. And Ted will be like, I'm taking this category. 1897, beavers.
49% of Americans admit to thinking of someone else while having sex with their partner in a serious relationship, by the way. This isn't just a random hookup. This is you're in a committed, serious relationship with somebody and you think about somebody else.
The random hookup, you're thinking about them.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. After a couple of years, I'm like, baby, who do you want me to be tonight? Because this plastered out of my head, it's no problem.
Guess what? If you keep eating chocolate cake every night, eventually you're going to pretend it's vanilla.
Yeah, and I mean, look.
Here I am again.
Not every time, but obviously it's going to happen.
Yeah, you can't help it, man. What did somebody say years ago when Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were together? Comedian just said, now, who did they think about when they're in bed?
For real.
Because it's like, hey, man, you guys are like the 1 and 2 at that time. So it's like, if you're with each other, like...
See, that's when you find out that they're freaks. Because, Angelina Jolie is like, I think it's Steve Buscemi, actually.
Paul Giamatti.
Well, I was going to say, look, I do it by myself sometimes. I might be watching a porn video, but then somehow somebody that... maybe I hooked up with once will pop in my head, and it's like, oh, yeah, that was nice.
You know how many times I've slept with Mila Kunis in my head?
Sure.
She doesn't know, but I know.
I've gone to bed on Jim Beam.
As we go through our lives, we realize that a lot of the information that we have tends to... As we go deeper down the rabbit hole, as some would say, we find out that they're not quite as true as we once believed. So let's just dive right into it.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10. 10 facts you learned in school that are no longer true. For example, the Great Wall of China is the only man-made object you can see from space. In truth, there are no man-made objects that are visible to unaided eyes in space. But if you look really closely, we can see your mom.
Oldie but a goodie. But that actually was one of the facts that you learned in school that are no longer true, that the Great Wall of China is the only man-made object that you can see from space. Not true.
I know. You can see Vegas, but technically it's the light from the strip. So they go it's man-manufactured, but light is not man-made.
Right. But that is one thing that I would love to see.
Vegas.
Go out in space, and then all of a sudden, bam, there's Vegas. I wonder if you could actually know for sure, there it is.
I think if you look down at the continent, you would know. Because, when you're in space, you're looking down on the continent, and there's, whatever kind of varying lights, but Vegas is going to stand out. You know roughly geographically where it is. And you go, that is Vegas.
That's the one.
They need to make the orbit big enough that people on the space station can see it.
Dude, got that big friggin' eye staring up at the ISS.
And it would make you uncomfortable.
What are you guys doing up there?
What do we know about chameleons as far as changing their colors? It always blends to fit with their background, correct?
Camouflage, yeah.
Right. The teaching was half-baked, which only captures part of the essence of the chameleon changing its colors. Truly, chameleons change their colors to their environment, but it's done to reflect their mood, not to blend or change in their camouflage.
I've read that, but it just seems like every time they reflect their mood reflects their surroundings.
Right. Let's see. Who invented the light bulb?
Thomas Edison.
That's actually incorrect. This was not the case because the light bulb was in use before Edison's own. However, those light bulbs were quite rudimentary and more expensive. My guess is they still held the flame.
Well, either way. I mean, it was invented before him.
Right.
I mean, even if it's not perfected, his is not perfected like it is now.
Correct.
That doesn't mean he wasn't a part of the process.
Exactly. What do we know about carrots? If you eat plenty of carrots, what does that do?
Good for your eyesight.
Exactly. This nutrient boosts your vision, but not in the way that you were taught in class. You can only enjoy this benefit if you have vitamin A deficiency due to an unhealthy diet or a malabsorption problem.
So I got to have messed up eyes, then it could help me.
Correct.
If you eat enough.
Right. We just call that a cure for some folks.
God, I wish it was ice cream.
There are facts that you learned in school that are no longer true. What do camels have up there in their humps?
What are this? I know it's fat, but they say milk or something.
My humps.
Water.
Water, right,
They drink a whole bunch of water, and that's where they store it all, and that's exactly right. Just that's
endless cigarettes.
No.
Yes.
Do they really? So they store water in their humps?
No,
it's fat.
Oh,
It's a fat reserve, which actually helps them not have to drink as much water as most other animals.
And it's kind of odd that they do just store all their fat in those areas, and it's weird how there are certain species of camel that either have one or two.
Correct. It was dromedary and
I have no
something
idea.
else.
But it's fascinating.
It'd be cool if they had little nipples on top of each. Come
here, baby.
That's a camel I can get down with.
What do you got there? It's a nipple.
If you're wandering around in the wilderness, there's always one source that'll always help you get home because it's the brightest one out there.
North Star.
North Star's going to help you home. That's actually not true at all. Further understanding and analysis of stars by various agencies and astronomers posited that many stars are brighter than the North Stars. They further stated that North Star stands at number 50 among the hierarchy of stars in terms of their shine.
It's kind of funny because then you realize, like, we're following the North Star. And it's like, bro, that was not the North Star.
Right.
There are 49 before it.
And when I was a kid, that's one thing that you heard is that the North Star is the brightest. And then you go out there in the night sky and you look around like, which one is it?
I know.
It's bright by like this much more.
I feel like you see it sometimes, though, just because, like, maybe in the city, you just can't see other stars.
Right, what's the light pollution?
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not the North Star. I'm always like, oh, there it is.
The way I was always taught to find the North Star, and I'm convinced of it every time I look at it. I could absolutely be wrong, but you look at you can always see the Big Dipper out here, and then the two end stars of the cup of the Dipper, they point to the North Star ish. It's a little bit off the line, but it is it is in that direction. It's actually the end star of the handle of the Little Dipper.
Ah, okay.
That is true. Let's see here. These are facts that you learned in school that are no longer true. You'll end up working minimum wage if you don't go to college.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
In today's world that places skills over certificates, most people work in various high-paying fields based on their years of experience. There's also a little bit of luck to it. It's whatever you land into, get your foot in the door, do anything that you can, and see what you can get done, man. How many senses do humans have?
5 is the standard that we said.
That is exactly right. Well, in school, you're taught that humans only have 5 senses: smell, taste, hearing, and touch. Although these are basic senses, it would be interesting if they had let you know that there are some other senses to balance the odds. The other sense is a sense of balance, pain, temperature, and space.
Huh, okay.
So, yeah.
Some people don't know those.
That's, no kidding,
Space.
Miles. Right. Doggone it. So the movie Sixth Sense was actually not about ghosts at all.
It's about space.
I like my personal space, and also I see dead people.
Speaking of which, one thing that we know about space is that it has zero gravity, right?
Correct.
Wrong!
Micro.
Oh.
Might have to dump that idea. This fact was disproved by NASA when they detected the presence of gravity on space, albeit in low quantity.
Yeah.
It was further explained that the instances of a moon orbiting around the Earth could only be possible by the presence of gravity that pulls them together.
Correct.
So there you go. There is gravity in space after all.
But you can still float, so who cares?
Where do you lose most of your body heat from?
Your head.
Your head and the bottom of your feet.
Correct and incorrect. In reality, this is overblown because a tiny amount of heat is lost through the head, while the larger surface area of the body, like skin, arms, and legs, should instead get the most attention since they emit more heat when it comes to covering yourself up in the cold weather.
Which makes sense, but I think it's because heat rises, and that's how the whole thing, right? All the heat goes to your head.
I feel like we all know this about our tongue and our taste buds. There are different quadrants, if you will, of where those taste receptors are, correct?
Yep.
Actually, no. It says you should remember the graphical description of this section in your textbook where they depict tongues into taste bud zones. This teaching has been disproven by more advanced findings that went into the biology of the tongue. It was stated that the human tongue consists of 8,000 taste buds, which contain a mixture of receptor cells that accommodate all 5 different tastes. So,
How do I have 8,000 taste buds and none of them like vegetables? I mean, not even like 2 of them are like, no, dude, this is all right.
They're very specific. Yeah, they're specific.
Yeah, they are.
You think about a big salad for the Monday Night Football game tonight?
Oh, God, you know it.
Me
Nothing
neither.
but
Me
iceberg
neither.
lettuce.
I like vegetables. I just don't think about them.
I
eat them because I have to.
I wouldn't eat vegetables if
Not
not
because
for
I
my
want
wife,
to.
but I love a big
Oh,
salad.
I got a whole bushel of carrots. Can't wait to get home. Who said that?
But the number one fact that you learned in school that is no longer true. We know him. We kind of stopped celebrating him. But what do we know about Christopher Columbus?
He discovered America.
Yeah, he discovered America.
He absolutely did not. That is that is correct, guys. He didn't.
That's why
I didn't know he thought he was a goddamn Indian.
Lee Harrison has a statue in Ballard. Come on.
Right.
Like, he didn't die on the voyage, but he didn't even know where he was at.
That's literally why we called them Indians, is because he thought he
was in
discovered India, and he thought he had found native Indians.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, man, cool. Sure,
the
brother.
Jamaicans that he ran into.
Yeah. Irie. We're Indians. They even called it the West Indies. Like, okay, that's who you think you are, bro.
All right,
I know they did right. He was like, "Oh, it's the West Indies." You're way off, bro.
Yeah, that's what you're trying to say. Whatever. You guys buy anything, do you think?
Passengers aboard an EasyJet flight got quite the view, but it wasn't outside of the plane, Miles.
Where was it?
I'll test your memory at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a test online for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK.
Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Feeling overwhelmed and unsure what to do next? Look no further. The personal injury attorneys at Phillips Law Firm are here to help. Phillips Law Firm understands that accidents can turn your life upside down. That's why they're dedicated to fighting for the compensation you deserve and to making the process as stress-free as possible. Don't wait any longer. Call now, 1-800-JUSTICE, or visit justiceforyou.com.
It's after bedtime, the kids are asleep, and the moms are out to play.
We're Dina and Kristen, the duo behind the Instagram account Big Little Feelings. I'm Dina. I'm a child therapist and mom of 2 who nerds out on all things neurobiology and psychology. And Kristen is a parent coach who wrangles 3 kids on a daily basis, here to give it to us like it is.
We weren't meant to do this parenting thing alone. Consider After Bedtime your village.
Follow After Bedtime with Big Little Feelings on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Want more Men's Room content? Follow the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app and check out my live stream, A Moment with Mike Hawk and Nothing in Particular with Steve the Thrill Hill. Going live Thursdays and Fridays at 1, exclusively on the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app.
Have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Big time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve a Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. There were a lot of stories I had to debate about for shot of the day today, but I got to be honest about this. Today, we toast Suzanne in the 884 pub in Bremerton. And every single one of you that joined us at the 884 this past Saturday. Look, man, we cannot put it into words. I hope you guys had a good time. It seems like you did. All right, that was our 5th Men's Room World Tour stop. Easily the best. This is nothing against anywhere else we went, but it was a different vibe there, man. It absolutely was. There was a sign, I guess 2 signs that had one message. It was insane to us when we got there. And leading up to this event, a lot of people that live in the Bremerton area, Gig Harbor, Port Orchard, etc., were like, dude, we're so glad you guys are coming. Right? And you go, all right. When we got there, that proved to be true. I mean, that is the best time that I've had at any one of these events. A lot of people, thanks for talking to us. That's the point. I mean, that's the reason we do it, man. Interact with the listeners. Just so you know, it meant a lot to us. I do know that the pub itself, thanks to your bad drinking habits, they did quite well for themselves.
Good.
On that particular day, man, which is what we were looking for. But it was a great time. My wife was there, and it's funny. So at the end of it, hey, babe, did you have a good time? She goes, I had a great time. She goes, your listeners are very nice, but basically 95% of all the questions I fielded was this story true? Was this story true? People going back through all these things we told. And she's like, yeah, they're true. The other, yes, I was mad when this happened. Yes, I have seen this. But then she pointed out, and this is true, she goes, look, I've known all of them a long time. There are stories they do not tell you that I know to be true. And there's more to some of the stories that they share with you that I also know to be true.
I didn't know that.
Well, the problem is this. 9 times out of 10, I don't remember I remember how it began, don't know how it ended. But she had a great time. We had a great time, man.
Blast.
That was...
Yeah, it was great.
Mike, I know you're in Vegas and you're doing the right thing there, but bro, seriously, man, that was the coolest freaking event that we've been to.
I missed
And there's
this one,
no
man.
bells or whistles to it. We say it all the time. It's just the presence of people and the state of mind they want to be in and to be happy about things, man. And I don't know, it's just like one big happy fest. So if you were there, man, thank you guys for doing it. 884, thank you for hosting us. It was absolutely a wonderful time. And now I have Bremerton in my mind is like, it's an awesome place. Might be completely untrue, but in my mind, it is a fantastic place, man. So thank you guys. Anyone that came out there, it was absolutely an outstanding blast for us. So let's drink. We pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Daniel. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hello.
All right, Daniel, you understand how this here game is played?
I do.
Fantastic. You have a choice of one of 3 stories. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? Hit Me with Your Best Shot, where you guess the unconventional weapon used as a weapon. And finally, we have Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
Let's do Hit Me.
A very popular one here. At least me to believe that deep down we're all super violent. But here is your story. A man suffering from a, quote, mental health crisis and armed with something chased an EMT down Highway 99. That is not here in Washington State, but I believe farther south in California, I believe it was. Anyway, just before 8 a.m., police responded after the 2-person crew of the Metro West ambulance reported that they had been assaulted by the patient. Now, the patient was being taken to a hospital for a mental health evaluation after a police call earlier that morning. While in the ambulance, the patient unbuckled himself and began hitting the paramedic in the head and neck. Now, the EMT who was driving stopped the ambulance and went to the back of the rig to try to pull the patient off the paramedic. The patient then began assaulting the EMT in the chest and throat. So the EMT got out of the ambulance, but the patient started chasing him with something along Highway 99. Now, police officers found a man, and when they found him, he was still chasing the EMT on the other side of the highway. Now, officers eventually caught up and restrained the patient. The patient was taken to the hospital in a second ambulance with a police officer riding along with the crew. The EMT who had been assaulted was also taken to the hospital for evaluation, and the patient was eventually cited for 2 counts of assault. The question is, what did he assault the EMT workers with? Was it a rock? Was it a traffic cone? Was it a ventilator or trauma shears? The things they use to cut all the crap around it. So rock, traffic cone, ventilator, or trauma shears. What did this guy chase the EMT along, across, and down the highway with?
Daniel, I'm going to go traffic cone.
But he was already in the ambulance, correct?
Okay, when he was in the ambulance, he assaulted the EMT, just hands and fists.
Okay.
When the driver stopped and opened the door, dude got out, grabbed something, and started. So the guy he chased was the guy who originally was driving. That's when he grabbed a weapon and started chasing people.
I'm going to say he took a ventilator.
Ventilator. All right, Daniel, where are you?
That's what I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Ted. I think he grabbed a ventilator.
Okay. What did he assault the EMTs with? A rock, a traffic cone, a ventilator, or trauma shears? We're going to find out next.
Oh, you son of a... hang on. Just give me 1 second.
That was a tease.
At Casper, we want you to have it all, especially when it comes to your sleep. So we went ahead and made everything on our site up to 50% off. Yeah, for real. Even our innovative, extremely comfy mattresses, yep, they're up to 25% off. Adjustable bed frames, 50% off. Pillows, sheets, bedding, bundles, and that super cute dog bed, it's on sale. It doesn't get much bigger than this. Visit Casper.com or a store near you through October 24th to save on everything. Exclusions apply. See Casper.com/promo.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Category hit me with your best shot on profile. This man in crisis chased an EMT in Cali, 8 a.m. down the road. A patient assaulted the responders, and then he attacked him. Question is, what did he attack them with? A rock, a traffic cone, a ventilator, or a set of trauma shears?
Yeah. And that is the very question that we posed. Daniel is hung up, but Daniel, you agree with Ted Smith and went ventilator?
Ventilator.
Was not the ventilator. Miles, you went with the traffic cone.
I figure he's out running down the street. It's going to be a rock or traffic cone.
No, believe it or not, standard, a rock.
Okay.
Huh. Just a plain
That's
old rock.
That's the last one I would have picked.
Me too. But the whole thing was he jumped out of the back of the ambulance to chase the other EMT, grabbed what was available, rock.
It is weird. I told you, I have friends in the fire department. One buddy was EMT forever, and he's like, you have no idea how many times you got to calm people down. He's like, look, I'm just trying to keep you alive. Like, I'm not the cops. I don't just tell me what you're on so I can keep you alive.
Actually, I was watching one of those like cops style shows. It wasn't cops, but same thing. There's this lady. She'd fallen into basically a culvert, if you will, kind of hurt her leg. The EMT show up. They're trying to put her on the stretcher because she messed herself up. And she didn't want to go. Like, I'm in trouble. And they were like, look, you might be, but we are not the people that are here to. No one's called the cops. They called us. They had to restrain her.
Yeah.
Just because she was in trouble. And they kept explaining, ma'am, we don't care what you did. We're trying to help. And she's taking swings the whole time.
Now for all TV news all time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Obviously, the biggest thing, I think, from TV over the weekend was the U.S. Open final. Now, while it was a big event...
goes on forever.
Yeah.
Seems like it's like 3 months.
Yeah, I feel like I keep reading about it, and I'm like...
Is it 3 or 4 weeks?
It's a whole season.
Is it that long?
It's legit
forever.
like 3 weeks.
Okay, because every other day I feel like, somebody did this at the U.S. Open, and I'm like...
They were complaining about the weed smoke 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I did read that, right. It said it smells like weed, because I guess people...
they have a park next door.
Oh, people can smell it.
Oh, yeah. And that was not really a complaint, but something that people noticed, that you can smell a lot of weed.
Yeah, I mean, tennis tournaments take a while, and it's crazy because when they start, especially those Grand Slams, I mean, there's so many people in the men's and women's division. Plus, you got to keep in mind you have doubles, you have mixed doubles.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like what 4 or 5 kind of tournaments within themselves going on.
And all you hear is this
same week,
4 or 5 points.
Yeah. But I was going to say, obviously, the big news over the weekend was probably you had a full set of college games, which we had Labor Day weekend. But then, honestly, you had NFL on. It was a full fun weekend. I was going to say, so the Huskies were in action. The Cougs got a nice win versus Wisconsin.
That's a big win.
That's huge.
Major.
It's also just good.
I don't know how good Wisconsin's supposed to be, but they always are.
Wisconsin is generally a very good football team. They're one of those, like... They get like 9 or 10 wins a season. No matter
all
what.
of your offensive linemen come from Wisconsin or Michigan.
Beating great teams.
Correct.
Michigan State, Michigan.
Yeah, and honestly, I always just think it's cool to see random schools in places. Like Texas being in Tuscaloosa to play Alabama.
Yeah.
Like, massive game, 2 top 10 ranked teams. But it's also like, well, those are 2 traditional powers. Like, I kind of like the idea of, like, Wisconsin just traveling all the way out to Pullman.
Who won the
Like,
Texas game?
Texas won.
They did.
That was the first time Alabama had been beaten at home when they were ranked that high by, like, double. I did not believe Texas to be good or as good as they said they were, but Texas looked pretty legit. I did not see a ton of it. That was kind of on during our event.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to watch some of the highlights and stuff, and like, oh man, good for them. But also, when you have those major programs, especially in college football, you'd be shocked how one year you can have a team that has like 6, 7 wins, and then all of a sudden, whatever, their quarterback has, he's been in the system for another year. Or you get
makes
subdued.
a difference.
Right, you get subdued to transfer in. Either way, it's just...
Well, with the portal, man, they'll tell you about this team, and like 8 of the starters portaled in from somewhere else, and you see the dividends that it pays.
Yeah. And we were talking on the way to the event, like Colorado ended up getting another win. They're in the top 20 now.
Jesus.
Yeah, like Deion Sanders, to his credit. Now Nebraska's not the Nebraska you remember. But these are still real programs.
But you still got to play. And the truth, I only saw the first half of the game. Ted, you filled me in on the car ride. But in the first half, Nebraska was taking it to them. They weren't beating them, but that Nebraska defense was shutting them the F down. And by the time, keep in mind, so it was 13-0, Colorado, and those points came late. By the time we picked up Ted, he's like, oh, my God, no, Colorado's beating the piss out of him.
Yeah, they just gave him the business in that second half. So that was good. Obviously, the Seahawks, they did not look good at all. They looked terrible. I would say I'd put that on par with last year, losing to the Raiders, whatever. Just like, God dang, this game sucks.
I think that's the difference, man. You're going to win or lose a game. You know that as a fan going in. But how do you look when you do it, right? My team, the Ravens, they won. But I still think, by my opinion, they look like garbage. Suffered a bunch of casualties and all that. But that aside, they didn't look good. But we had the luxury of playing the Texans. If we had played a quote-unquote legitimate NFL team, no offense to the Texans, but even if you're a Texans fan, you understand what I'm saying, right? You play a team with veterans and all that. I don't think there's a chance we won.
And look, and we say this all the time. The first 3 or 4 weeks of the NFL are crazy. But, so I'm not gonna be, too dramatic that the Seahawks lost, but also like, that was a bad loss. They just, honestly, like Mike said it earlier, like after the game, they were all like, we really thought we were going to win. Like they just seemed like they got punched in the mouth, especially that second half. It didn't really have an answer, didn't know what to do, couldn't stop Aaron Donald. I mean, hell, it looked like the playoff game 2 years ago where we just couldn't stop Aaron Donald.
And look, no offense to the Seahawks, but it's one of those deals where my son this weekend had a soccer game. It was the first game of the season. The team he was playing is a team they beat twice last year. So he told me before the game on Saturday that they suck. And I told him, I said, that was last year. And these 2 particular schools do not like each other anyway. They have their own rivalry. And I said, they've already circled this date, man. So before you run your mouth, just go out there and play your best game and beat them. Well, they lost. Yeah. And I think a lot of times, Seahawks, it doesn't matter the team or what level. If you think you're going to win, I don't know that you always put in the most effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's tough.
Think you're going to win versus, hey, we're giving them what they've got. Let's see what the F they're made of. I think there's a different attitude. But if you go and go, yeah, we're going to win this. Like, man.
Yeah, and like, look, I tailgated some of the game yesterday. Had some people that listen to the podcast were in town from England, so they wanted to see a real tailgate. What was I say? I know there's a bunch of people at the Husky games, people in Pullman. Like a lot of the country right now is still like late summer, obnoxiously hot stuff.
Yes.
I mean, tailgating in the Northwest is just beautiful. Now, we're going to pay for it in October and November when it starts raining and stuff. But I mean, it was just a beautiful weekend in town, and a lot of people were fired up to go do stuff. Let's see. Obviously, tonight you got some Monday Night Football. One of those teams is the Jets. The Jets were on Hard Knocks this year. Aaron Rodgers has a lot of stuff, but basically the last episode of Hard Knocks, he started talking about, he was at the friend of one of his teammates from UC Berkeley. They were awoken by the sound of an alarm in the distance. They went outside to see a tremendously large object in the sky. Quote, was like a scene out of Independence Day when the ships are coming into the atmosphere and creating this explosion-type fire in the sky. Eventually it disappears 30 seconds later. Aaron Rodgers, and I watched this episode, he goes, after that, he goes, we stood there in silence, and then we heard fighter jets zoom by. Damn. Obviously, they looked for stuff in the papers. Nothing was there. Then he just kind of talked. He goes, and look, we've said this before, right? When people talk about UFOs, he's like, I don't know what it was, but I can tell you this much. It was unidentifiable.
Right. Unidentifiable.
Jesus.
I'm helping out, brother. Gotcha.
He said it was flying and was an object.
Yes.
Right? Because we would say this all the time. Like, even if you don't believe in aliens, I certainly believe in UFOs because some of those could be secret planes for the military or whatever.
And you can't wrap your head around
identify them, they're unidentified.
I will say this just regarding football. My brother did the Sunday night game last night. And I told him before the season began, dude, that's a big deal. I mean, like, you're the only game in town. You're the guy. Well, there weren't a lot of penalties, too. The game sucked. I mean,
that game was awful.
The Giants were straight up garbage. There was a funny scene where there was a pick or something like that. And my brother had to run after the players to make sure he called the right play. He ain't fast, bro. That's all I'm going to say. But
no one is.
That said, a guy came by Saturday, and a lot of people asked us to sign a lot of things. And this one guy pulls out this big-ass envelope. It's like an 8x12 piece of paper. Thrill, will you sign this? I go, sure. I look down. It is a still picture of my brother getting hit in the face with the ball as he's calling whatever the penalty was.
All right.
Oh, yeah. So I signed it. I was very happy to do it. Texted my brother today. If you're the guy that had the picture, just know my brother said, that is awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I was like, this is the greatest picture I've ever signed.
Yeah, Sunday Night Football was a complete dud. It had been a long weekend. I had to get a little nap in after that Seahawks game. Sure. By the time I woke up, I was like, oh, this game's a wrap already. I didn't even finish out that game. I was so bored.
There's no point.
Yeah. I went back over just to watch a little bit of the fifth quarter, which is a good show, right? Paul Sylvie's on. Yeah, Paul Sylvie's on there. Chris Egan, Big Will's on there, or Big Walt's on there. So I do enjoy that. Big Will, I know. But also I watched it just kind of to go through the horrible fact of let's see what they said after the game.
But
this is horrible.
I feel like it's your weird cleansing moment. You go all right, let's go face our truth, right? And I will say this about the Seahawks. I believe this anyway, based on the coach and the players. They'll bounce back. Mm-hmm. This was your quick come-uppance. This was the quick don't speak before you do, right? I think they rebound pretty resoundingly. I could be wrong, but that's my
And they
belief.
just don't play I don't know what it is with the Rams. There's always...
You can say don't play the Rams.
No, they just don't play them well. And there's always even that, to win that last game last year to get in the playoffs, Baker's a quarterback. The Rams haven't done anything all year. Seems like this should be an easy one for the Seahawks to just go in there, do your business. And luckily, Baker throws a couple picks at the end of the game to help us out. But yeah, there's just those games, right?
But do we make it worse by saying, man, the Rams just have your number? And I know the players will tell you, we don't hear the outside noise. Players, yes, you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't acknowledge it. So do we make it worse when we, among 8 billion other people, go, man, the Rams just have your number? Because as a player, and look, it doesn't matter who you are. Man, I don't care what they say. But you know what they said. And if you remember what they said, you care. The S you don't remember is the S you don't care about. So it's just when you go into the game, is it anywhere on your brain they have our number, this is the day we prove it? Because I feel like that's tougher. It's tougher to say, hey, I'm about to prove something today, as opposed to, I don't care who lines up across them, I'm here to whip their ass.
Same thing happened at the Bears this weekend. Lining up against Green Bay. Hey, Aaron Rodgers is finally out. Now it's our time. And they got absolutely squashed.
I know.
Yeah, Green Bay.
Will this be the year I finally lose faith in Justin Fields?
Boy, the Vikings.
That's the other thing that made me feel a little bit better about
So right now it's the Lions.
The Seahawks fan. Well, look, the Seahawks have to go play Detroit next Sunday morning. I am not looking forward to that.
Don't.
Detroit looks legit. But also, again, once I saw what the Vikings did, there's a couple other teams that had losses that I didn't think they were going to have. So I'm like, all right, it is still week one. Stuff's a little weird. But, yeah. The idea of going in there and playing them sounds horrible. I should also mention the Pac-12 still dominates right now. At the beginning of it's
Isn't
unreal.
that amazing? I think it's awesome. They're going to dissolve the Pac-12. And meanwhile, the Pac-12's but here's the thing. Most people from the Mississippi East, they're aware of the Pac-12 and never watch. Just because it comes on too late. It said, once the Pac-12 was announced that they're going to dissolve it, people paid more attention. And now these people are seeing what the Pac-12 is doing. The Pac-12 is what did Roddy Piper say? I got bubble gum. I'm here to kick ass. Ran out of bubble gum. Pac-12 is killing it right now.
the Washington State flag, old Crimson, they fly that at every college game day.
Correct.
So it was there, good for them. But then one of the guys had a sign too, and it was the Pac-12 logo, except they had taken off the 1 and it just said Pac-2. I was sitting there Saturday morning, and I was like, that's pretty good, pretty funny. Yep. We were talking about Aaron Rodgers earlier and how he sees UFOs. Well, he's hosting the Buffalo Bills right now. His first game is a Jet. It's on ABC, ESPN. Mike, just for you, if you check out Bravo tonight, 10 p.m., watch What Happens Live. The guest on there will be Cardi B.
Oh, thank
Cardi B. Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
Tick-tock, tick-tock. Before you know it, the end of the year will be here. So remember to use your vision benefits before they expire. Schedule eye exams today for the whole family by visiting PearlVision.com. Pearl Vision will cover the cost of your insurance copay or eye exam, plus they accept all major vision plans, including iMed. Valid prescription required. Valid at participating locations. Restrictions apply. Taxes extra. See store for details. Ends 12/31/23. Exams available at the independent doctors of optometry at or next to Pearl Vision. Some doctors employed by Pearl Vision.
Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go as we head to the friendly skies as the EasyJet lives up to its name. Meanwhile, the passenger tries to open a cockpit door and get some unwanted fame. Customs officials see 16 lizards inside a woman's bra. Driving up 14,000-foot mountain definitely broke the law. And a Florida man takes the get off my lawn thing a bit too far. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
Top story we take to the skies, where a video was filmed and has since gone viral. Crews aboard an EasyJet flight got suspicious of a couple that had disappeared from their seats, and one of the plane lavatories had been occupied for an extended period of time. If you're following along, you know where we're going. They eventually were able to confirm that the couple were occupying the same bathroom and were in the midst of punching their tickets to the Mile High Club. But instead of letting them have their moment, they decided to let the rest of the passengers share in it as well. The flight attendant unlocked and threw open the door to the bathroom, where we find the pair of them entangled, and the crowd cheers. The man smirks at the camera, then pulls the door shut to continue on his business. Which at that point you kind of have to.
Well, yeah, because they just said, like, you're in trouble. The employee didn't say, like, stop. He just opened the door. Guy's like, all right.
What up?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Closed door, finish business.
Look, I was trying to be discreet. Yeah, people that are close kind of know what we got going on, but I was trying to be discreet.
Yeah.
You're going to fly the door open. Well, I'm going to finish what I got going on.
You opened the door, not me.
Right. Exactly. Which, that also makes me wonder if they weren't a little bit obvious while they were inside of there. Look, the flight attendant can get suspicious.
Sure.
He's not going to open unless he knows. Which
but
means,
also, lock the door.
Was it not locked at all?
The guy opened.
That's fair,
Right,
but he
if
has
you
no way to
lock it.
unlock it?
I'm sure he does, but when you watch him in the video, he just literally goes up and opens
He does.
the door.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Maybe that
I mean,
was
also,
what
it's just, those bathrooms are so small. It's not, I don't think you have to be a great detective to figure out if people are having sex in there, or it's a plane. So
Yeah.
the couple just hasn't been in their seat for 30 minutes. It's like, all right.
30 minutes, damn.
He's putting in work, bro.
Right. The plane keeps rocking to the left.
That helps.
In other news, more from the airlines. We go to China, where customs agents caught themselves a smuggler, Ted.
All right.
A woman was selected for additional screening while going through customs after agents found a few too many suspicious actions about her. They were saying that she was wearing baggy clothes, she was looking suspicious,
She's wearing baggy clothes.
This was in China or a flight to China?
In China.
All right.
China. She smelled of trouble, so they pulled her to the side. She was brought into a room for a strip search, and good thing, because agents found not one, not two, but 16 live lizards hiding inside of her bra.
Vagina.
The reptiles were seized and given to the care of wildlife experts.
If I were one of those snakes, but I like the bra.
Right.
I like the boo. Don't leave.
It's warm in here. Cool. To Louisiana for a miraculous story. EMTs were called to the scene of a local Taco Bell and reports that a sign had come down, injuring someone in the drive-thru. If you haven't seen this story, look it up. It is holy cow. What they found was the top half of a Taco Bell sign had broken off and come crashing down on top of a car in the drive-thru, with the pole, which is anywhere between 4 to 6 feet in diameter, doing most of the damage, completely crushing the back half of the car.
Yeah.
The driver was trapped inside for a short period of time until crews could safely remove her and take her to the hospital. Her status is currently unknown, but it sounds like she should be all right, which is lucky compared to what could have happened with this thing falling down.
Yeah, when you realize how much those things weigh and how big they are and all that.
Correct. I'm serious. Looking at this picture in the car that she had, which was like a Toyota of some kind, like it was your standard sedan, and the size of this pole, it had to be at least 4 feet in diameter, and it pancaked the back of this car.
Absolutely.
So, oh, Steve. Damn.
Just saying, it's the sound of me.
Back to the airlines where United flight suffered a delay. The plane had just locked up its doors at Chicago O'Hare and was set to take off and head for L.A., but it was forced to delay a while after one of the passengers suddenly got up from their seat and attempted to break into the cockpit, which is always a great idea. Didn't stop there. The passengers then attempted to bust open one of the emergency exit doors of the plane in their tirade, forcing the plane to head back to the gate, sending the passenger into the waiting arms of law enforcement there to detain them.
Can we legally beat their ass?
Yeah, please. That's it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Since ends up tomorrow, we'll see you then.
Yes, indeed, it's all true, but in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch for 180 seconds or so. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.